morning. Hello, welcome to the honest-wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to 6.5 hours of Ogres. In-depth data analysis of every war scroll, maybe, but probably not. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm joined by Mr. Nathan Prescott. Hello, Nathan. How you doing?
Hello. I'm grand, thank you. Not tired at all.
Okay. Just for everyone who doesn't get jokes, which just seems to be all of YouTube, Nathan said at the start of the show that he was feeling a little bit sleepy, so that's the joke. James, how are you? Are you good?
Fuck. Do we have to explain them all?
What? Do we have to explain all the jokes?
Yeah, we do, because otherwise the YouTube thugs come after you. You have to break it down.
It's not going to be 6.5 hours. It's going to be 12 hours.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm not sure how many jokes you think you make.
Zero. No. And that's funny because Nathan doesn't make that many jokes. And we've got a button for satire because now with Elon on Twitter, you've got to make sure that satire is clearly labeled.
Yeah.
Because comedy's back, but it has to be labeled.
Yeah. Comedy's back, but not if you're parodying anyone. That's why. Hello, my name's James. Welcome to the honest-wargamer. Lord of the Rings is so good.
This show just got
so
much better.
James, how are you? Are you okay?
Yeah, not too shabby.
Oh yeah, good. All right, positive. And then Dan, what about you? Dan, great to have you back. Where you been?
I went to Virgin River and I got stuck between the river and the Virgins, and I just couldn't get out. There was nothing I could do. I was trapped. And I'm good. I'm wearing fluorescent orange underwear and a floral T-shirt, and I'm just ready to talk about my thick kings because I'm a big fan of the Beef Boys.
So, just to make everyone really alert and aware, this isn't going to be an in-depth analysis of the Beef Kings, the ogre, the get out my swamps, none of that. Instead, it's going to be maybe like a cautionary tale of staying out of someone's swamp with some highlights, because James, Dan, and Nathan probably are still not caught up with what's happening with Slaves of Darkness. It's been a lot. It's been a very busy 3 or 4 days, especially if you're as tired as Nathan is. So, I think.
What have Slaves to Darkness done?
Exactly. Can you tell me?
Nothing. So busy.
Yeah.
What have they been doing?
I don't have a cupboard, but Nathan's been busy.
Well, exactly same. My roof's still leaking. It's not, Nathan, don't worry. But it might soon, so just watch out. Okay. Shit. So hello, everyone. So that's what we're going to talk about the news, because there's some spicy news. Slaves to Darkness FAQ. We're going to talk about the battle boxes, and then we're going to look at some of the ogre stuff. But I also would like to catch Nathan, Dan, and James up on the Slaves to Darkness stuff. So been a big week. But before we do any of that, I'm going to catch up and see how everyone is. Nathan, have you done any hobby this week? What have you been up to? What's been going on?
Yeah, I rebased some of the Spider Riders, so they're all on bases now with snow and sand and grass. So that's a big step forward for them. Then I got all of my lads out and just had like a muster on the dining room table, just to get ready for the weekend. This coming weekend, we got that War in the Heartlands thing. And some people want to borrow some of the stuff I've got, and then obviously I needed to see what stuff I was taking. So yeah.
Wait, so let me get this right, okay?
Yeah.
You got all of your gits out onto one table.
Yeah, I didn't put like the spiders started on the table, but then as I rebased them, they went into a different big box, and then. So yeah, but
have you lost the different big box?
No, I've got it. It's under the table.
So you put all of everything. So you put the spiders under the table, then everything else on top of the table.
Yeah. All the squeaks and the gits and chogs and lads.
Okay, amazing. Okay, that's great. And then so you're taking an army to War in the Heartlands this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll be streaming War in the Heartlands.
Oh, cool.
But obviously I'm not going.
Remotely.
Remotely, yes. So Objective Zone will be on this Sunday. I'll be live streaming War in the Heartlands, which is your regular kind of UK time, 9 till 5, 2-round Sunday. But then, check this out, we go straight over to a Texas event, which is plus 8 hours. So then we go straight into rounds 4 and 5 of the Texas event on the same time.
Cool.
So we do UK then Texas over the course of. Oh, thank you to thank you to Grubby Ungor Simon Treelord, who's a babe, by the way. I fucking love that guy. Nathan, he's a lecturer over at De Montfort University near you. I should hook you up.
What?
You should
Fucking
play
hell,
games.
Super close. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
you should play games.
I also love that after throwing shade at Middle Earth, one of the subs that he gifted is to factions of Middle Earth as well. Just to,
Good lad.
so just
What a hero.
good, just real solid in there. We love it.
Join the strike picket at the end of the month, mate. No problem. Anytime. All the time. And thank you to Rule of Cruel Wargaming for subscribing, Mac Readiness, Johnny Thunder, Dr. Demento, Prop Joe. Just to catch us up, a bit of news. So I'll be live this Sunday coming up, which is Sunday the 23rd. No, that's not right. Sunday the 13th. Sunday the 13th. I'll be live for a whole day because it'll be 2 events across 2 time zones, which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot of Warhammer.
When do you sleep?
The night before and the night after.
Ah, good. Yeah, cool. So we're going with like a 21-year-old, like university weekend kind of thing. Like I will sleep when everybody else is awake.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I get to do the UK one at normal time. When we did Sweden a couple of weeks ago,
True. Yeah.
then I had to get up at 5 in the morning. So I've just taken on my Saturdays to Sunday night to Monday mornings will be generally a fucked time zone. But eventually, if it gets up and running and it gets popular enough and busy enough, maybe I can call people in at the right time to do the coverage at the. Do you know what I mean? I can maybe build it into a production. I don't know yet. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I just won't sleep. I don't sleep anyway. Who gives a fuck?
Haven't slept for 36 years.
Thank you. It's true.
That's
true.
Be one of those
44
sleepless
years.
elite, like just like where they only sleep a couple of hours a night or something like that. Isn't that a thing? I feel like I read that was a thing.
I feel like they're all on LSD, those people.
You could be on LSD. Can you imagine the stream? Have you seen the colors? We're zooming in. It's like, Rob, you don't have control. The camera's like, I'm zooming.
Thank you everyone in the chat for joining us. It's been great. Nathan, I'm excited to see your report. So do you know yet what list you're taking to War in the Heartlands?
I'm about 90% sure of the list I'm taking. It's the one with the big squig herd, 2 units of knights, a couple of screen units, and a mangler, a couple of sneaky snufflers, and the Troggoth guy, the Smash Caller Troggoth, and a couple of wizards.
Perfect.
I reckon that's it.
You reckon that's 5-0?
That might be it.
5-0?
Yeah, it's no, maybe. Like if somebody, if somebody played it regular, I reckon they could take it to 5-0.
So, we just got the stats back. So we've got all of the stats on honest-wargamer.com updated now. Do you know what the positive win rate potential for Gits currently is? So
I don't even know what that is for anything. What does that mean?
James and Dan, do either of you know what that is?
Sorry, say again.
The positive win rate potential for the stats.
So potential. The positive win rate potential. So is this like as good as it could theoretically ever do?
It's the percentage of how many times the list has been able to get a positive win rate. So a 3-2.
Oh,
okay. So I'm gonna say.
So not 5-0s, not win rate, just the chance to just have more wins than losses.
I'm gonna say 30%.
Nailed it. Absolutely on the money.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got it open, I reckon.
What do I win? I will take my prizes, please.
Pride. Nathan, you could get the first Gits 5-0
I don't need
ever.
that. I haven't had that in years.
What? Haven't they had a 5-0?
They have not had a 5-0.
Oh.
No, I'm afraid the Dankopolis, while it counts for Games Workshop stats, doesn't work for our stats or any stats or even really science.
Oh no, well that was only 3 games, but uh, I thought there was at least one 5-0.
There wasn't in this GHB. So there might have been in the previous GHB, but there wasn't in this GHB so far.
Okay.
Nathan.
Yeah.
I'm not even reading that name. Someone in the chat said, if you go 5-0 at the weekend, they will drink a pot of Norn oil.
Yeah. Think about that. You can really upset someone's stomach for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll have a
Don't know if that's
really
motivating.
uncomfortably coloured Wii as well.
Oh, that's cool.
All right.
Yeah, picture.
Let's
Wii.
move on. James, how have you been?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Can't really complain. Don't know where my week's gone, but not bad.
It's only the beginning of the week, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, but from last week, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Hasn't it
You
gone
don't
on
know when
Conquest
last week
Blade?
then.
Or whatever
Yeah,
it's called?
it's good. Conqueror's Blade, it's good.
Conqueror's Blade, yeah.
Still none of the chatter on there. This is a problem for me, but other than that, all is well.
Okay.
It's
all right.
almost the end of the season. Then I get like down season. Don't know how many weeks that is yet.
Okay, good. And then maybe back to Age of Sigmar.
Maybe one day.
Okay, maybe Ogres will get you a hype. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Because you can, exactly. Yeah,
I
time to
did
get...
do some hobby. Well, technically did some hobby this week.
What?
Oh, yeah, what
I
what
know.
hobby did you do?
I was bought a ticket to an event, I believe.
Oh, yes, you were. You're coming to one of my events.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. So if anyone out there in the UK, or not from the UK, so the day after Boxing Day, which is the 27th, leading up to the 31st, we're doing a single one-dayer every single day over that Christmas period. Dan, you know that time between Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas, and then, just in case they call something different where you are, like Puncher,
Yeah, no,
Kangaroo Day.
we call it Sweaty White Man Day.
Exactly.
Because it's like you see, he wears a lot of like fur and layers, and he flies very close to the sun. So he's just really sweaty.
Yeah, I'm just running a single one-dayer every single day across that period. So if you're like, fuck it, I'm going to stay in Nottingham for 3 days and go to 3 one-dayers, if that makes sense. Or if you like, can only come up for a day. But you know,
That's
that
great.
Christmas, because that Christmas period is a time when I actually see a lot of people want to do Warhammer, but no one's ever organised anything. So I was just like, I'll just do that.
And for most people in that period, committing to 2 days back to back is really quite tough. Like it's if they've got other family commitments and things like that. So that's actually cunning, because it's like, yeah, you can have if you want the 2-day event, you can kind of have the 2-day event experience.
You can have a 5-day event experience.
Jesus. That sounds like a 40-day ITC tournament, and I don't think I have the stamina.
James, are you doing all 5 days?
Catch up.
Confirm now, 5-day James.
Nah.
You
I don't have 5 days in me to give, I don't think.
Do you reckon you've got a game and a half and then you're done?
Maybe.
Okay, all right.
Not
A game and a half, and then I'll just be like, push my toys.
So
Don't know
then
what I'm playing yet.
that means then you.
Coming
Oh, well,
to
that's what I was
one of
going.
the one-days.
Yeah,
Oh,
James
what?
is coming to one of the one-days. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You gonna come, Nath?
I'm coming to at least 2 of them, I think. So yeah.
See,
I'd
that's
say
pretty...
I'd tell you, but ask Meg, because she's my calendar.
Yeah, so it's gonna be hot. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna try and play in a couple of them if I can, but that means I'm gonna get someone to work the bar, which is at that period of time a toughie. But yeah, it's gonna.
I'll work the bar and play.
All right, wow, that's pretty good. Well, everyone's
this-
invited. It's a ticketed event, so there are tickets on our Eventbrite. If you like to search for the Honest Wargamer, search for our Eventbrite. Tickets are up. Like it's a free. Like when you turn up, it's a free bar. Like it's included in the ticket price. It's just a fun Age of Sigmar, 2,000 points, 3 rounds. Just do what you fucking want. Like don't come.
Can I say
Oh.
that James running the bar worries me, because you know how like the person who was quick to offer to be banker playing Monopoly, you could never trust. Like I'm just saying, 100%. James is like, oh yeah, I'll be banker. Yeah, no, you. Yeah, I passed go. That's how I got those 200. These double tequilas? No, I didn't. Someone gave them to me. Not me, to me. Someone else did.
This isn't my
But
fault.
thank you for asking. How are you? Yeah, have one.
Good.
Someone in the chat asked for the link, I think. I want to come. Tickets, question mark.
No
Link in the
problem.
chat.
I'll sort that out right now. Give me a second while we're doing that, and I'll include them in the show notes for YouTube thugs. Okay, Dan, do you know what army you're playing yet, James?
No. Probably Stormcaster or Skaven. One or the other.
Okay. Stormcast or Skaven? Okay, that's fun. Skaven looking really bang average right now. So if you're interested,
That's fine. Bang average is fine.
It's
Okay.
I love the sales pitch there. Like they are just spot on, not having a great time.
no,
But
they're having
also
an
not-
okay time.
They're not having a bad time either. They're just having a time. They're whelmed. They're not over or under. They're just straighty 180.
James, do you know what the shadow magnet trinket is?
No.
Okay, well, guess what? It's the only artifact or command trait, whichever one the fuck it is, that they got in the new update, and all anyone cares
Okay.
about. Yeah.
Excellent.
So there you go. If that helps, if you're a Skaven bro,
The shadow what?
the shadow magnet trinket. Yeah, there's one that gives them always strikes first, and another one that gives them like extra D3 attacks on their melee profile. So it's like a command trait and an artifact, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god, I like they have changed the shape of the whole book," but they haven't. So
I like Owen's rundown. 0 Skaven at Heartlands.
yeah,
Give
more
it
in the
one.
Heartlands coming up. 0.
Maybe I'll
Skaven.
just steal Owen's list.
What, the
Reigns
Rain
and
of Stars?
That thing.
Yeah, do Rain of Stars.
If Owen buys a ticket, tell me what he's taking. I'll take exactly the same. Just
Yeah.
like that.
Rain of Stars is challenging though, because sometimes you make it to the event, sometimes you crash your car. So you got to like choose. Yeah, like it adds to the risk.
Who crashed the car?
Adam.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
he's okay. He's fine. He's fine. He's healthy. He's safe. I wouldn't make that joke if he wasn't. He'd already made the jokes himself. So he said he was slap chopping while he was driving, which obviously he wasn't. Just for the lawyers, that's a joke. That's
how
the joke.
Great would that, how
Explain
great
it.
would that be if like there was some insurance adjuster who had to pour through every minute of Honest Wargamer content just to see if someone mentioned him and that of like they're like, I've been listening to 48 hours of this just to find I got him, and then you were like, for the lawyers he wasn't. They're like, oh fuck, like they've got to continue listening to try and find him.
Well, okay. So, James, you don't know what you're playing yet. It's probably going to be Stormcast because, as I've just mentioned, Skaven are boring as all hell. Dan, what about you? How you been? What you been up to?
I'm good. I've just been caught in the grind of work. For those who don't work in the film industry, it shuts down kind of December and January, which means that the closer you get to December, the more production companies just utterly shit themselves in terror and panic that all of the stuff that they went, we're not going to get that today, we'll just tack it on to the end. We're not going to get that shot today, we'll tack it on to the end. They realize that now is when they have to deal with all of the things, you know, when you like procrastinate. Imagine that on a massively multi-million-dollar professional level. That's the month that I'm living in right now.
Interesting.
Which is it's a lot of work. It's a lot of massive, like 15+ hour days. However, once I get through that, I'm going back to Australia for the first time in 4 years. I'm going to be there for like 6 weeks to go see friends, family, and just experience things. So I'm very excited. So it's
Dan.
like, yeah.
Dan, are you going to be at
What?
CanCon?
I don't know.
Snap.
Should I be?
I can be. I will be. But no one knows yet. Don't tell anyone.
I'll keep.
Message me.
I'll keep it quiet. I'm writing a note.
You're right, Dan.
Can con?
Do you know,
Big question mark.
I'm
There
not
we
sure
go.
you'd want to hang out with Dan again.
Why?
Because he just tried to describe what working in the movie business was like. But what he actually described was when you're the person that's going to an event on Saturday and it's Thursday and you've not painted a model.
That's my industry. My industry is basically what it feels like getting an army ready for an event. Is it's like, oh yeah, we'll do the base rims later. Yeah, we'll do the base rims later. What about this scene? We can get that scene later. This scene is like nothing makes sense if we don't get this scene. Oh yeah, but it's just gonna be such a pain in the ass to get today. Yeah, we're really behind. That's okay. We'll get it another day. Are you sure? Why don't we get rid of one of the shitty little scenes that we can cut if we need to cut? No. We definitely better push this very important thing. That's basically, that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's what
So
Guy in
it's-
the chat says. He's in the game industry. Everyone is rushing to finish the Xmas update, and the day it's
Yeah.
live and there's game-breaking bugs, everyone's left on holiday vacation. Sounds great.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun. Everything's fine. We're all good. We're good.
Okay.
I definitely feel like, you know those movies where it's like 2 or 3 toddlers in a trench coat?
Mhm.
I feel like the top toddler in that trench coat. Like I can see what I need to be doing, and I am kind of ambulant enough to do what I need, but I can't. Every time I try to go towards it, the idiot that's the legs is like going in different directions. That's my emotional state. Is multiple toddlers in a trench coat trying to get into like an MA 15+ movie.
You're going to be great. Don't worry. It'll be fine, probably. But going back to
Oh.
Australia will be great. That'll
Yeah.
be nice. The Aussie boys. They just had Runax Team Championship was just this weekend.
I know.
don't
I
if you
was
saw.
so devastated. I'd really love to get to like that's been on my calendar to get to a Runax for years, and I've just never managed it, which is sad.
And great
Gabe
news that they
is
had
lovely.
28 four-person teams, which is pretty good.
Wow.
Like,
Massive.
yeah, absolutely huge. But it was won by some 40k players who'd only just started playing Sigmar like 3 weeks ago. So, fucking, come on, Aussies.
Rubbish.
Come on.
It's not about the destination; it's about the journey. Let's just go with that. Let's
Is it?
do that because that way. Yeah,
Well,
sure. Why not? That's
proved
why.
the opposite, didn't they?
That's why I'm gonna start playing 40k. I'm gonna take it off them.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, go back the other way. Yeah, flip it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I mean, you play
that's ideal.
40k in Canada, it'll be fine. Like, it's got to be
Yeah.
that one guy, and then you'll smash it. Like, it's okay.
That's pretty much Vancouver. There's literally only like one guy here in like everything.
All right, well, so thanks everyone for joining us. I know, like, that was not the quickest intro, but like, give a shit. If you listen to the show at this point, you know what's going on. All right, so the first bit of news is the Warhammer.
Wait. What about your intro? What have you been doing?
Yeah, fuck. Back it up. Go back from the news. Rewind. Back
Boop.
this shit up. There we go. Okay.
Okay, all right. Well, so devastating news. So, some of you may have known that I've been very excited about being the 4 Mutalith Vortex Beast guy. And I can still be the 4 Mutalith Vortex Beast guy, but I can only play in Slaves to Darkness. So there's a special rule where if you coalition a unit, so when you coalition units into a Tzeentch book, so 2 of every 4 units in a Slaves to Darkness, in a Tzeentch army can be Slaves to Darkness. Yeah? You with me?
Yeah.
Unless they have a keyword like Tzeentch, and then they have to become allies.
Why? What?
So, if you want to run Mutalith Vortex Beasts in Tzeentch, you have to ally them in.
Because they've got Tzeentch on
Because
their
they got the
scroll.
Tzeentch keyword.
So you're telling me
What?
that an army of Tzeentch demons can't bring their own Tzeentch demon monster. They need to ask their friends to loan it to them.
Well,
Maybe
actually,
they already loaned it out and now they can't really take it back. 'cause that's
Oh,
not
this is
cool.
just like it's GameStop stonks. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Is they bought they were like, yeah, we'll get the Mutalith Vortex Beast. They're shitty. Let somebody else have them. And then everyone bought them, and the stonks have gone up, and now they're like, fuck, we need them back, and they can't get them back. That's probably
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, so as Snarky on the Ever Joking has pointed out in the chat, the rule was put in place for the Gaunt Summer on disc, which is exclusive to Slaves to Darkness, but has obviously maintained its place, and therefore the dream of the 4 Mutalith Vortex Beast, which me and Nathan have got a practice game tomorrow night, and I was planning on using, has unfortunately died. And that was also the list I was going to take to Everwinter, and so now I must write some other sort of meme list, and I don't know what that's going to be. So that's put a
14
bit of,
Charybdis.
it's not ever that, as you know. It's never.
It was only like 450 quid. Hilariously, after last week's show, I got an email from Games Workshop 2 days later that was like, "These items are still in your basket."
Oh, it was the
just
Charybdis
deleted that
from
Yeah. The Charybdises, the Lord Celestines, and I think the spiders.
They were like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "What dickhead thought I was buying this?"
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you could just run them in Slaves to Darkness, right?
Yes, I could, but then that's super boring. Because then, like, who wants to do that? That sounds lame. So I might ally in 2. So I'm going to try against Nathan tomorrow. I'm going to be playing with 2. But then that means maximum 3 spawn a turn, which is way worse than 5 spawn a turn, as you know.
So disappointing.
So disappointing. So yeah, I've been looking at that. I've also been printing and been excited about ogres. I just and also now don't get pissy with me. Trogs as well.
Mhm.
Cool.
I've done like I think I've done like 18 Rot Guts and 18 Fell Waters.
What?
Like I've just You just click
Right.
print, Nath. Just like print, fucking get it done, mate. Like I haven't painted them, but they're printed and ready to rock. So I'm kind of
They're
now
not
in this.
good. I don't need them, but I've got them.
Oh, I've got them. Yeah, so I'm kind of in this like interesting place where I'm like, I don't know what. And there's also like, I really want to run a Scryer list with all the the little oh god, what are they called?
Weapons
The
teams?
weapon teams.
Just-
Not the
Jazales.
weapon teams. Weapon teams are great. No, the little the Globadiers. Those guys.
Globadiers.
Oh
Yes,
yeah. The literally like point for point, dollar for dollar, most expensive miniatures still on the Games Workshop website.
Well, I mean, I printed out like a dozen for like 500 or something, so obviously they're not. So like, there's a fun list with that as well. So like, I've just got so many. There's so many things going on. 4 iron blasters. That's also really exciting as well. I love that. Then there's like Splintered Fang anti-tech, anti-Slaves to Darkness tech. Like the game's just in an exciting place right now, and so like my brain's kind of exploding. But I've been painting my Zangor. Okay, I've been keeping my head down. I've been making sure an army's finished while I've been flipping between all these different armies I want to play. So I've been painting my Zangor. They're ready, well, nearly ready. They're on the way. And so yeah, that's where I'm at the minute with my hobby stuff. And I've also printed a lot and been excited about a lot of lists. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at the minute. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Sexy.
exciting.
Yeah.
I think now the only problem is you can't repeat the intro you gave to the news. It needs a new unique introduction for the news. A new news introduction.
Well, yeah, I will. Last point. I've also started 3D printing so you might not know, but I've done a Tzeentch Demons board. I've also done a Kharadron Overlords board. And then I'm now they're in the process of being painted. The Tzeentch one nearly finished, and then I'm in the process of doing. Oh, I've been so productive. I'm also in the process of doing a Fire Slayer board, which will mean I have of the 8 tables we're gonna have.
Got 3 dwarf tables.
3 dwarf tables. I don't know why. I've got a dispossessed board. I've got a Fire Slayer board, and then I'm going to have a Kharadron Overlord board. And I'm not sure like what that's about. I need to do like a death board or something.
Your
a
beard
bit.
gets longer, the dwarf boards grow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, just like down.
Do you know what? Maybe it's because
What?
maybe it's because you're prepping for next year's release of the game Mario.
Oh, am I? What is that?
Have you seen? It had maybe Return to Mario. You play a dwarf
Mm.
in the mines of Mario, rebuilding it with your mates.
Is it like an RTS?
It's like a Rust or Ark or Minecraft or
No, it is not.
yeah,
In the mines, is it multiplayer?
yeah.
Guess what we're doing on Mondays, boys?
We could just invite people in to see the mine, and then if they move a block, kill them.
there's just Nathan dressed up as a goblin in the corner, like watching them, and if they do something, just shoot him with an arrow. It's perfect. But like,
okay.
like real, like live action.
Okay,
Oh,
so
there you go. 8
game over.
players.
Because
8 players.
bow crime is legal over there, right?
Yeah, both
Okay.
very legal. Yeah, 400,000 Dowie boards, and we'll talk. Yeah, I know. Okay, right. Okay, so with that bombshell news from James, onto the bombshell news from Games Workshop. Nailed it. So they've announced their Christmas battle boxes. Bam, bam, bam. Which are these kind of, I don't know if there's ever, we never know the prices because they don't announce the price at the same time. They're basically like, there's going to be a box of sprues that you can buy, and then there's normally a benefit. There's normally a saving. If you buy it, you normally get it then cheaper at the sum of its parts. Effectively. So Cascade in the chat says normally 120 quid from Games Workshop, maybe with inflation and also, greed, it'll be higher. So it might be like,
Sometimes they're different prices too, right?
Yeah,
Was it last
depending
year
on
they
what's
were
in 'em.
all different prices?
no, they weren't, were they? I thought they were all the same price.
And there was one where they were all different prices, I think.
Oh, what?
US dollars, Canadian dollars, and Australian dollars, they're usually sitting in like the 200 to 260 mark, somewhere in there.
Okay. Average discount is usually 33% off. Okay, so thanks, guys. So everyone in the chat. So you normally get like a 33% discount on these boxes if you bought the parts like together. Okay, sorry, individually. So let's go through and look what we got. So the first one is the Daughters of Cain, the Slaughter Coven, and in
Ben,
this,
move on.
what?
There's enough Daughters of Cain players already. Let's not encourage them and move on.
5.5% of the meta. I agree with you. But there's a Cauldron of Blood. There's a unit of Doomfire Warlocks, or as Nathan would call them, subs. There's a unit. There's a unit of Canary. There's a unit of Canary Heartrenders. There's a unit of Sisters of Slaughter. I guess you three are going to give me the I would get. I won't get. I need it out of 5. 5, I'm gonna get it. 1, not gonna get it. Sort of a feel. And then a unit of 5. They could be fighty snakes, but obviously they're going to be shooty snakes, right? So, so give me you three. Give me a score, and then we'll total it up. So Nathan, likelihood to pick this up 1 to 5.
0.
0. Okay. Dan.
I'm more likely to ask a random stranger in the street to kick me in the gonads than to put a single dollar towards this box. However, what I will say is that as far as a box goes, it's got snakes, it's got your freaking runny elves, and it's got the one of the 2 to 3 chariot-y things that you'll be running, and probably some of it. Like, it's not a bad start if you don't have Daughters of Cain, but if you don't have Daughters of Cain and are thinking of buying them, don't.
Oh yeah. It's don't. Okay, good. James, so that's 2 zeros so far. What about you, James?
I'm on the same page as everyone else. I'll give it a 1 because that was the range, and everyone else went off it.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
just
look
like
at
to
James
say,
sticking to the rules.
Yeah.
someone has to, Dan.
All right, teacher. Yeah.
But I also feel like if we're saving 33%, they've basically screwed anyone that buys this box over because the 33% you're saving is probably 5 Doomfire Warlocks that will go in the bin.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're
All
just
right.
like, what have I got?
Like,
I've got
good
5
box.
bottom boys.
Yeah, good box, good box, good box, good box. Oh, my savings shit.
Yeah, and the bottom boy and sub reference is the fact narratively, just to explain the joke, that they have like lesser souls when their souls were taken out of the god Sinesh, who was trapped in the netherworld or between 2 realms, and therefore the very matriarchal society of the Daughters of Cain consider them to be lesser beings. It's kind of a flip reverse of like modern society to explain the joke to people. That's and also Nathan likes beating people. There's the joke. That's the joke. Just to get to one. Okay, so I'll also give this a 0, mainly because I...
That wasn't on the scale!
1. I'll give it a 1, because... I'm going to give it a 1.
Like, fuck yeah.
I'm going to give it a 1 because I don't know if anyone's ever built Sisters of Slaughter or Witch Elves. Number 1, the whips break, and you're like, why did I spend money on this? And they're a nightmare, so it's a 1 for me. So this has got a grand total of 2. First person in chat with a number also gets to add that number to whatever the total. Out of 25, so us 4 plus the chat. Elfrost gave it a 1, so it got a 3. It got a 3 out of 25. When the actual
a possible 5 to 25, and it got a 3, which should show the attitude that this show has towards Daughters of Cain, and specifically their players. Like, I don't want people to think that it's the army's fault. It's you. You're a bad person.
Okay, all right.
You just clip that and play that at your friends.
Oh no, good. All right, carry on.
No, what do we need to explain?
Was that a joke or was that serious?
I don't
know. I'm
No,
tired.
that was dead serious.
I don't know if any of this is funny. That's the issue.
No, jokes don't have to be funny to be jokes.
I don't know if that's true. Do they?
I'm pretty sure they don't have to be funny to be jokes.
Okay.
People say all sorts of weird things and they say just joking. Meanwhile, they were just being racist or something.
That's true. They do that a lot. They do that, but I don't think that they're jokes, Nathan. I think like they say that they're jokes, but you're like, no, you're not joking. You're just being
a cunt. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, no, we just got demonetized. But
so
no, it took
yeah.
40 minutes for it to happen, so I'm really proud of us. Yeah.
What?
Right. So go us. The next one is the Uruk War Clans, the Cruel Boys Swamp Lurkers. This contains very stealthily and cleverly hidden only 1 unit of 10 Gut Rippers, but spread out so it looks like it's more. Yeah. A Snatcher Boss. No, that's not. Actually, no, that's just a champ. Not at that. It's got the guy on Sludge-Raker. Yeah, thank you very much. Snatcher Boss on Sludge-Raker, and it's also got Gobsprak. And then, as if there weren't enough of them in the world, 3 Bolt Boys.
Nice.
which you can pick up from any local gaming store. They'll give you the box at this point because it's just taking up space.
Remember when people thought that they were going to do interesting things with them? You know, like they were like, "Oh, I'm going to create like this Bolt Boy army, and it's going to do this and blah blah blah." And then they were like, they played one game with one unit of it. You know, like people, I'm sure when Skyfires first came out, for those who don't remember, they were super messed up, and like 27 of them in a list was key. But like one game with playing with Skyfires, you're like, "Oh, these are fucked. I should take all of them." Same with Eels. One game, they're like, "These are fucking better than anything else in the army. I should take all." That's what people thought Bolt Boys would be. They played one game and they were like, "Nah, bruh, this is not good."
This isn't good. No, correct. And as Hazel quite rightly puts out in the chat, the top performing Iron Team player in the world, does say you can actually pick up 10 Gut Rippers from a local gaming store if you just trade in a sparkly dice and a Mars bar, because they're just anywhere. Honestly, you even remotely flash a bit of an Iron Blaster at a Gut Rippers player, he'll just give you them all 70 for an Iron Blaster, I reckon. It's an interesting box. Nathan, as a fan of these guys, maybe. What out of 5? What's the chance to pick these up?
I'd say above average. Yeah, I'll go with 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah, because I like the Corpse Ripper Vulture. I would have the Kill Boss and not Gobsprack on there. And yeah, Sludge Raker's good. And
Okay.
the other dudes are just right. Yeah.
The Sludge Raker, great. I mean, like if you're just getting into the army.
Yeah. To get in, and with what I've got, that would complement it nicely. I do rate the Kill Boss version of the Vulture. So yeah.
Yeah. And the Sludge Raker slaps. Like Sludge Raker's no slouch.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
James, then give me your number out of 5. What are you thinking?
See, I was quite high, and then I saw in the chat that I can buy Gut Rippers for next to nothing. So I had a little look, and I can buy Gut Rippers for next to nothing. So
Really?
I'm gonna, if this is 120 quid as an estimate, then I think it's probably a 3. Because the Vulture alone is £90.
Well, Pete in the chat has just said that, and shout out to Pete. Also, James, I really like your story arc where you've now become like the Jamie of our group. You're like, I've looked it up, Rob. Yeah, you can get them cheap, and they're in my basket. I'm like, thanks. Bring that up, James. Yeah, so they're cheap, right?
Yeah. So 3 Bolt Boys, if memory serves me right, is like 35 quid. Because I remember being horrified when they got released.
Yeah.
The Crocodile's cheap. He's like a £30 boy, because that always shocked me. But that Vulture being 90 quid on its own, I think, like if it's not too bad, like 130 quid, I think, and it's a 3, 150 quid, and I give it a 2.
Okay, so a 2 for you, and then Dan, where you at?
I'm going to give it a 2. Because when I look at the box, I'm like, if I didn't play this army, this isn't the box that makes me go, I want to play this army. And then the other side is that it's if I already play this army, I don't think I need anything in this box.
Super fair. So what do you give it, a 2?
2. I'm going to give it a 2. Because like financially, I'm guessing if he's a 90-pounder and then there's 10 little guys that go for next to nothing, that kind of combo brings it down, but ultimately I'm like, I don't know what this box does, so it is a 2. It's a solid 2.
Big
But
shout
it
out
does
to
combine with half of the Dominion box, doesn't it? Fairly well, because that's just a load of infantry.
yeah.
So at
But,
least you get a couple of monsters there, and a couple bit more infantry.
This is just because now I'm whoever Jamie is. This is going to be a dangerous one.
yeah.
Who's
I don't know.
It's James?
Doesn't matter. If none of
I
you
don't
know
know
who
who he is.
that's good. I take it from me. I like as if I could love you 3 more. I love you more that you don't know who Jamie is. When I say bring it up, Jamie, and you 3 don't know what that means, it's a blessing.
You mean Jamie Oliver, right? That's
Yeah.
who you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all English people talk about ever.
I feel like this one's a bit of a scam again, because the first one was Doomfire Warlocks, don't want them.
Yeah.
This one, they're going to be like, you're saving 33%, because Gut Rippers for 10 are £32.50.
That's good. So it's a
But on
bargain.
eBay,
Yeah.
They
they're
for sure
about £9.
aren't. Yeah.
They're how much?
About £9.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's a bargain. Like that's pretty good. Yeah, Craig Joe. Correct. Well done, chat. Okay, so you've got a 4. We got a 4, a 2, and James, what did you give it?
2.
Okay, so well, I mean, it's doing massive numbers.
And the
compared to
first person in the chat?
That's 8. The first person in the chat with a number, and I'm going to give it a
0.
A
That's
0.
not on the list. They can't give it a 0. Next person in the chat.
I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a. Do you know what?
2.
So a 2 from the chat. So that takes it on to 10. Do you know what? I'm going to give it a 3, just because, like, for stonks, this could be incredible. Like,
Makes it an 8.
the Sludge Raker is 4, 2, 2, and 2 is 10. 3 2s is a 6, and a 4 is 10. Rob does math.
You gave it a 4.
Nathan.
Me.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Nath. My bad.
That's all right.
No
No worries, Jamie.
Got that green skin bias.
That's so funny. There's someone out. There are other people out there who love what this is, but you three are like, what the fuck is that? So I'm gonna give it like a. What did I give it? A 2 or a 3? I don't know. A 2.
3.
A
You
3.
said
Yeah, I'll give it a
3.
3. I'll
You
give it a
gave it a
3
2.
because
Give it a
the
2.
Vulture's a cool model. Like, it really feels like they were like, this is gonna kick ass, and they did not write
The
rules.
Vulture's sweet, and the rules are alright, man. For the kill boss, not for the fucking one wizard one. That
Yeah, but
everybody
you're paying
takes.
90 quid for something that's like less than 300 points.
Yeah, it's expensive. That's why I don't own one. I might convert I've got old Azhag on a Wyvern. Might call him a fucking
Done.
Yeah.
dickhead on Vulture.
Yeah,
And then
just stick some feathers on it.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Done.
That'll work.
That's
Okay,
all it
so
is.
if anyone is keeping track, this has got a 13. So well done to the Swamp Lurkers. Okay, the next one, there might be some bias in the chat. The next one is the Stampeding Squiggerlanch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
it has got two
Oh shit! Holy
boss.
shit! This box. Oh, this is we really went from 0 to 100 fast in this one.
This is 2 Loon Boss on Mangler Squigs, or Mangler Squigs, whichever one they are. 10 Boingrot Bounders, 10 Squig Herd, and a Loon Boss on
There's probably
Giant.
12 Squig Herd.
Sorry, yeah, Nathan, I can't count. So correct. 12 Squig Herd. There are 12 Squig Herd, and then a Loon Boss on Giant Cave Squig. So yeah, chat have given it. Like, there's a lot of very high numbers. This is £191 if sold in retail separately. And if you haven't been keeping track of the drama on Twitter, not that drama, but Warhammer drama, there was a lot of people that accidentally seemed to have 4 painted Iron Blasters as of Saturday. They were like, oh, what the fuck? I can't believe they're on rounds. And I decided to pick them up. One guy, his name's Pete, said that he picked 4 of them up because he read a prophecy. He was like, there was a prophecy.
Great, solid start to buying any kind of army.
Yeah.
Prophecy. That's
I
great.
Yeah,
just feel like, think about it. How many old stories and how many, like, even before modern times, like regular people were like, there's a prophecy that this will happen, and so they did things. Like, life in the last 100 years features so many fewer decisions based on prophecy. I like that it's being turned around.
I agree, because I actually had a prophecy last night that squigs to the moon, is what I'm going to say. So, all right, Nathan, give us your unbiased number on this box.
Yeah, 10.
No, not
Out of 5, Nath.
Out of 5. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
10
yeah.
out of 5.
10.
That's how goblins count, right?
Dan?
It's a 5 out of 5. Like, and I mean this genuinely. If I played a goblin army or if I had squigs, this feeds into it because it gives you everything. If you wanted to start an army, this is the start of a very fun element of the army. And it's the thing that I like is that it's one thing. You know, if you went like when they've gone like trogs and grots and squigs, you're like, well, I probably only need 1, maybe 2 things from that box and I'll fuck off the third. Whereas this being one thing means you're like, cool, I want that one thing. I want all of that. Give me all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's great.
So 5 for you. James?
4.
4! Wow, sorry, that was way too
So
loud.
restrained. Jamie.
Such a contrarian over there.
Why did it not hit a 4 for you? 5 for you?
Because I think it's good. I
Yeah.
like the box, but I don't want squigs oppressed by goblins. I
Ooh,
just want squigs.
you want freedom for the squigs?
Yeah, just squig herd where they overpower, and they've made the goblins their little like pets that have to play them the symbols.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what, they're just growling at him in the corner and the goblin just quivering scared, just like clacking his maracas like,
Don't
oh
eat me,
no.
lads.
Yeah, don't eat me, lads. Okay. Okay, good. And then, so we've done everyone. So it was a 5, a 5, and a 4. I'll also give it a 5. So it's got a 19. Chat, time for your number. This is 950 points and £191, apparently. This is also easily the best box to scalp as well. It also got another 5. This got a 24 out of 25.
Glad to keep that off perfect.
Yeah. And
That's
also,
why he did that, just to hurt Nate.
and also the other gossip is that like every playtester under the sun or moon is painting these right now for the upcoming Blue Strike Kits Battletome. Therefore, this is easily one of the best scalpable boxes as well, if that makes sense. Like, not that we encourage that, but also whatever. We live in a society. Okay, good. So well done to the Gits. The next one is Skaven, and it's the Verminous Host. Right? It's got a Screaming Bell, which can also be built as a Plague Furnace, if anyone's interested. It has then got 20 Plague Monks. 20?
That's 40 Plague Monks, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Is
That's
it?
40 Plague
Yeah.
Monks, yeah.
Oh, wow.
40 and 40, isn't
Oh, yeah.
it?
40 Plague Monks, sorry. 40 Clan Rats, and then 3 Storm Fiends, and a Doomfire Warlock.
Warlock Bombardier.
Warlock Bombardier. Not a sub. No, he's look at what he's holding. That
Oh, yeah.
dude is absolutely a top.
Sorry, I was putting 2 things together there. I apologise.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, correct. So Warlock Bombardier. All right, James, I'll start you off. You're the Skaven guy. Tell me about this.
I feel like if you're a Skaven player, this is the worst box
Okay.
because you're never going to want more of those models.
Correct.
If you've never played Skaven, so I'm going to go on that basis.
Yeah.
I think this is a good 3. It's a load of models. It's a load of useful models, but it is basically 2 different factions.
Mm-hmm.
So a 3.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, all right, good. Dan, what about you?
Okay, so I recently picked up and started doing Skaven because that box came out with Sylvaneth, and I'm looking at this going, if anyone's recently gotten into the army, they don't need this because no one needs a second or a third Screaming Bell or Thinger or James's reaction. I understand what you're going with, but I think for people who are starting, it's okay. I actually don't think it's got great stonks as far as money goes because the Plague Monk kits are very old. And as someone who built a bunch of Plague Monks side by side with the Clan Rats, they are showing their age. Like in that army, you really have to. A lot comes from the paint on them, but they do still. They're that different style. They're the like cartoony versus a little bit more real. Plague Monk boxes are cheap comparatively because they're older. Clan Rat boxes are way overpriced for 10 Clan Rats in a box, I believe, at the moment. So all of the infantry there is massed, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like 80 infantry, but it needs to be because they're either overpriced or they're cheap. So really, you're looking at the 3 Storm Fiends, the Bell, and the Bombardier. I don't think it's a good deal. But I do think it is good for people getting into the army, yes. If you don't play Skaven, this is a great starter, but only if you want to play Pestilence.
Interestingly, just because Dan said it, and I didn't think about it at the time, my entire scheme of an army, I think, except for 1 Vermin Lord was secondhand. All of it came on squares and all of it cost a pittance.
Okay. Yeah, like you can also
because the models are so old.
Yeah, there's a billion people. Yeah, you could just fucking go to like car boot sales near old people's homes and probably pick up some of this. Like, like there's loads of opportunity to grab this stuff. So yeah, that seems fair. Nathan, what do you think?
I'll give it a 3 because I wouldn't be an existing Skaven player, and it looks like a cool army, like loads of bodies. It's my sort of thing. Couple of big dudes. Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
All right. Well, I mean, if you're I think it's like a swing vote, right? If you're starting the army, it's actually a pretty good box. Like everything in there is something that normally features in some sort of list. Not the Bell. The Bell hasn't really made a lot of competitive lists. It's always been I don't know if you heard me at the top of the show, Shadow Magnet Trinket. So it's either been a Warbringer or the Deceiver has been the two kind of Verminlords that we've seen. So having a Verminlord in there would have been cooler, in my opinion, but the Bell's fairly iconic for the army. So I think if you're starting the army, it's a 3. I think if you play Skaven, it's a 1, basically. So, and then the chat have given it a strong number, not really sure. I don't know what it is, but it's a high number. 5. There we go, says Shugo. So well done. So that takes us up to, I think we got to about a 13.1 there on that.
Well,
So,
Shugo's given it a 5 for a new player or a 2 for a current player. So we need to average that to a 3.5.
yeah. So taking
12.
Yeah, 8.8.
13.
Yeah, nice. Okay, next up, the Legion of Grief. The Nighthaunt, the Legion of Grief. So this includes Lady Alinda, your faction leader, a black coach, which unfortunately didn't quite get the glow up. It's featured in exactly very few lists since the Nighthaunt book came out. However, it's also then a unit of Chain Rasps, a unit of Mimron Banshees, which are great, and also a unit of Grim. Oh, what are they called? They're not the Harridans. They're not Harridans. They are
Grimgas Reapers, Blade
Grimgas
Guys.
Reapers. Yeah, Grimgas Reapers. Thank you. So, are Harridans the same kit as Blade Guys? I don't think they're the same kit. I think they're a completely separate kit. So they're all different.
There's 3 separate kits.
Yeah,
None
3
of those kits are the same kit.
Yeah. Why don't you feature 4 coaches at Everwinter? Because it's a terrible list, and I don't want to paint 4 coaches. Seems, and aren't they also £90? Jamie, how much is a black coach?
70 odd, I think, but it's been a while since I looked.
All right,
Let's find out.
Nathan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it looks like a cool army.
£80.
Got a fair mix of things. I've played against Black Coach. It does things, I guess. Alinda's good, so yeah, I'd give it a 3 again. As somebody that doesn't play Nighthaunt.
Okay, perfect.
It looks like a decent place to start.
Yeah, the kind of place that you go with. Interesting thing looking at Nighthaunt lists, like especially like competitive Nighthaunt lists, is they tend to go like a couple of ways. They either go like all in on like Dreadscythe Harridans, or they go into like Quicksilver Dead, or they go all into Blade Geist Revenants, and they go into whatever that subfaction is called, where they do the mortal wounds, or like the other kind of build is Spirit Host orientated. Alinda has rarely made it in the lists. Alrak the Drowner is like the big stonks, and he's pretty cool. He makes it a lot of the lists. The Black Coach is late. The driver has not taken it anywhere. So overall, it's not really one that I would overly run. But you can, like, MSU is something that you can genuinely do in Nighthaunt. So while normally you would be like, if you had like Spider Riders, Trolls, and Squigs in one picture, you'd be like, this is a bit silly. But with this, it genuinely kind of works together, although you get sub-faction bonuses with some units, and so it probably works to get a bit better another way. So I'd probably give it like a 2. But it's like a painting project or something. Like they're super cool, so maybe a little bit higher. That's my score. James, what about you?
2, because I think if you've got a Nighthaunt army, you probably don't want another Alinda because you probably own her because she's probably the nicest looking hero. I don't know why you'd want 10 of each, because you definitely want more of one of them. But more than anything, because I've gone through them all, not the Goblin box, because I don't feel like that had one, but I feel like loads of them have like a weird flex where the money you're saving is on something that they struggle to sell. And here I would think it was the Black Coach, because it's your £90 model you probably don't want.
Also, this is important, you can't forget, that because of Partworks, you can pick up 9 million of every single unit in here on eBay for a lot cheaper. Dan, did you give us a score?
No, not yet. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. Okay. It's right on halfway for me, because there's nothing about the box makes me go, I want to play this army. If I already play this army, I don't need this box. But if I didn't and I was kind of tempted or interested, this could potentially push me over the edge to buying it. So that's why it gets a 2.5.
That's fair. Okay, so I think with the chat's vote of 4 from El Frost, we are roughly getting to, I think that was about 17 they got to, maybe 14.2. Yeah?
13.5.
13.5. Nailed it. Thank you, Nathan, for keeping track. So, yeah, that's Legion of Grief. The next one, the Sylvaneth Revenant Wargrove, is 2 Tree Lord kits. Don't forget they can build as either Ancients, Tree Lords, or a Durthu. Now, if you're a superstar, you run 3. That's right, 3 Tree Lords with a Durthu. This will get you halfway there because that they're more of a shooting unit, Tree Lords. I don't know if you know this. If you've ever played against it, yeah, more of a shooting unit. They are. They're more of a shooting army. But it's a weird. It's complicated, but it doesn't matter. And then so 2 Tree Lords, 2 Tree Revenants, a what's it called? A Drycha, and then 20 or 12 or 16 Dryads. 16 Dryads.
16 Dryads.
Yeah,
What a stupid number.
Well, that's how they.
Because it's only 4 per sprue, right?
Yeah, that's how that's how it was made, right?
Yeah, but how long have they had to fix that?
Just bung an extra sprue.
Yeah,
and
Make it
what's
20.
wrong
Yeah,
with
make it 20.
You type bastards.
No, that's not how it works.
Oh,
No, okay, all right. So I'll go first on this one, if you don't mind. This is a great box. Drycha, like you normally will see a Warsong Revenant and also an Arch Revenant in Sylvaneth lists. You also see lots of Kurnoth Hunters, and you see lots of the bugs. But Sylvaneth is one of those really interesting armies where its allegiance abilities actually affect most of the units. Tree Revs feature a lot. Drycha a list with Drycha just went 5-0 just this weekend. Durthu's always very good, and Tree Lord Ancient could be like a techie piece, or it could be a Tree Lord if you go for the Tree Lord spam list. The only thing in there that's pretty shit is the Dryads, but even then they've got like a fringe kind of like case for them being in the list. So
And you summon them as well, don't you?
you can, but like they're
And
not. They're not
I
good.
think I would, like, in defense of Dryads, which I would never think I'd be catching myself saying, but if you were getting this box because you play this army or you're going to play this army, in previous editions, Dryads have come out with the nuts. It's just this edition, their stocks are down. So it's not bad having them. Like, if you're going to play Sylvaneth, another book comes out and suddenly Dryads are top of the pops again. So I don't think they're bad here, especially given that they're not the focus of the box.
This is also one of those boxes that you can't really like spam. You can't like get 2 of these because you end up with 2 Drychas. So, but you can always sell the Drycha, and then you probably never want 4 units of Tree Revs either. TBH. I don't think that's probably true for most of the boxes. You don't. You
could buy that Squig box twice.
You could definitely buy the Squig box twice. Yeah. Like again, a winner. You could also maybe buy the Cruel Boys box, but I think that there was no value there.
No.
Personally. Okay, so I'm giving this a 4 because I think it's good. Nathan, yours?
Yeah, I mean, as somebody that doesn't play Sylvaneth, looks like a nice place to start. So yeah, 3 again.
Okay, 3, so 7. Dan?
It was a 3, but then I remembered that if more people buy this box, then my dwarves have more Sylvaneth to cut down and throw into the forges, so it's a 4. More people playing Sylvaneth.
Okay, 4, that's true. And then James?
3, because the 16 just triggered me and I'm angry.
That's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. All right. And then the chat have given it a 3.5. So that is
17.5.
wow. Okay, good.
God, they fucking nailing
Nathan's
the
on
math
it.
today.
All right.
Yeah.
So the next one is the Thunderstrike Spearhead. Okay. So it's a unit of Annihilators, 10 Vanquishers, 10 Vigilors. Don't you dare say they couldn't get rid of them. And a unit of 2 Stormdrake Guard and a Knight Relictor. Not, unfortunately, the Lord Relictor, which hasn't been quite as popular. The Knight Relictor. Knight Relictor currently got a points reduction in the latest Battle Scroll, as did the Vigilers and Vanquishers. And the Stormdrake Guard didn't go down any cheaper. So the Vigilors are actually quite interesting. I saw them play on stream recently. They give, if they shoot something, they give other units +1 to hit against it in the shooting phase, which is pretty. Lord Relic D's nuts. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, James, you're our Stormcast guy. What are you thinking?
Do you know, like when they did all those new models, I really wanted to like those archers, and I really wanted to like those sword lads, but they're just not as good as the other battle line.
Yes, that's true.
They're just not as good. Like they're not as good as Judicators. They're not as good as whatever the new battle line was called. The dragons don't really fit, and nor do you really want them. That Relictor's the garbage one, and I'm not sure what the 3 paladins are doing up on the hill, but they definitely.
Well, they're the
storm-
Annihilators.
Yeah, but they're
Why-
paladins, though.
why
they
are they-
definitely storm struck into the wrong fight?
Yeah, why are they at the back on the hill with the range advantage and the archers are on foot at the ground? This box upsets me in its layout.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, the box layout's weird here. Definitely, I agree.
They're ready to get taken from behind.
Yeah. Well, they're going
Yeah.
to deep strike with the Knight Relictor teleport, but not the Lord Relictor teleport. Yeah. Okay. So, what do we think? So James, you gave it a.
2.
Okay, perfect. Dan,
2, I don't know who's buying this box.
I agree.
Like it's probably going to be good savings, but it's like you're late to the party for dragons to be good, and would be the only thing this box has going for it.
Nathan.
Yeah, I guess it's got some dragons and dudes. Again, as somebody that doesn't I've got some Stormcast, but would you add any of that to like the Dominion box half, and would that make anything? Nah.
Well,
I guess it's
no, you do
largely different. Yeah.
Because you got the Lord, you got the Lord Verret in the Dominion box, right? Haven't you?
Yeah.
I think so. And then you get Annihilators in the Dominion box. So another unit of Annihilators you started to get there. The Vigilors are genuinely like cheap. The Vanquishers you can throw in the bin probably. And then you could just say that your Knight Relictor is a Lord Relictor. Although I genuinely saw one event be like, no, you can't, and I was like, you sound like literally the cops. You're the worst. Yeah, like, like how can you say that out loud? And then the Stormdrake Guard are great. So like,
Yeah.
Any-
Okay, I'll give. Yeah, like so, adding it to my Dominion half box, it's probably not a competitive army, but it rounds it out. It adds some interesting things. Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
okay, all right. So we've done everyone. Chat, what are you giving it? Velatron gets to choose. He's in the chat. He gets to pick the number for these guys. Like I said, I like the Vigilors. I just don't want to pay for 10 Vanquishers. That's not what I want. Everything else, I think, has got like a place, is what I'm going to say.
Also, the problem with the Bog Orcs and with them is that for the price that you would pay for this box, you get Hatchet Works, and you get 2 armies for the same price. You get 2 full armies probably for around the same.
Oh yeah, if you do the magazines, you're doing way better. Yeah. Thank you to Giga John in the chat, who's just donated £10. What's better, breakfast, lunch, or dinner? The answer is all 3 on the same plate. Obviously, thanks Giga John.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the thick fans in the chat. I think this did this get a 20? Did it get a 20? The Thunderstrike Spearhead?
3.
Nah.
What did you give it? A 3. You didn't say a number.
A 3. It's got
Did you?
Stormdrake Guard
Yeah.
in at the end of the day.
3. Well, we've given it 10.
Okay, so 13, and the chat have given it 5. So 18.
No, we gave it 10
Oh, between us.
together.
Oh wow, okay.
Including you.
So 15. Okay, so the winner was the Squig Stampede, and then last place was the Daughters of Cain. Second to last place was the Cruel Boys, unfortunately. Skaven came pretty low as well. Legion of Grief came pretty well. Sylvaneth in second place, and then the Stormcast were in third. So pretty good.
Yeah, it's an odd series of boxes. Like I would love to know the logic behind what and how they chose, because it seems unusual. Like it doesn't seem to be stuff that people are going to go crazy to buy.
I mean, ultimately they're just like little boxes, right? You don't have to pick them, but I think they're always like fun, like to like look at and hope that they understand. I also feel like having like the faction leaders in there is quite cool. They've been like, okay, Gobsprax is the leader in that one. The Loon Boss and Mango Squigs is the leader. You know, they've given you the kind of like, I think these are great start an army box, which is not bad, right? Okay, all right, that's that. Let us know in the comments below what you would think. All right, so there's some spice melange from the weekend.
Nice.
Okay, so on to the next bit.
Yes.
So this is going to be Battletome versus Battletome Slaves to Darkness FAQ. So the Slaves to Darkness and the Ogre book both came out this weekend. The Slaves to Darkness book isn't tournament legal, in quotation marks. Isn't tournament legal? Sorry, I'm just going to read this from the chat. I heard they're doing a Squig and Lizardman mashup for Christmas. It's called Squigs in Slankets.
I'd buy that.
I'd buy that.
Heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one wins.
That one wins. I agree. So this was apparently thank you to Snarky on the Ever Joking in the chat. This was misprint. So when they did announce that they were going to produce the Slaves to Darkness Battle Force box or FOMO box this weekend, that it had some misprints, and it turned out it had several misprints. Thank you to Mega Drive subscribing for the first time. Yes, let's go. First time subscriber, love that.
Are you like Mega in that, like Megatron, but you're like a dryer? Like you put clothes in there? That I don't understand. I'd like to understand. It just
me
confuses me. It's fine. Yeah.
Do we know what the misprints are? No, we don't know what the misprints are. So we managed to get the rules right in 15 languages, but we had 6 misprints in English. Yeah, so some of these were different in some of the other languages, basically. So it looks like these maybe were like other versions that got uploaded. Who knows? Either way.
Yeah, you do it in your primary language and then you translate. So if it's right in the translated languages, that means that something really critically fucked up went wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that happens a lot, right? Do you three know where the Slaves to Darkness book came in as like a power book? Do you know where it like settled?
Hot, right? It was hot.
Correct.
No? Yeah.
Yes.
Strong.
Do you want a quick TLDR?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Quick.
Yeah. Always.
Okay. So quick TLDR. All of the Chaos Chosen, the Chaos Knights, the Varangard, and the Warriors all got big glow ups, or they got rules to make them much better. Mainly because most of the army now, or that section of the army, has got 3-up armor saves. So they're just very, very survivable. They've also got mortal wound protection and or spell protection from their Chaos Rune Shields. So imagine how survivable you would see a Stormcast army be, and then also give it like either ward saves or give it mortal wound or mortal wound protection, or spell protection. So pretty good. All told. So there's that. They also got the ability to take banners, which is kind of like a cool thing. This is this section of the book. Yeah, so this section of the book. They got banners, and then you can also give them marks. Khorne gives you +1 attack when you charge, so really strong. It's really good though, James, I promise. If you take Nurgle as a mark on your guys, so this isn't banners, this is just a mark, then you're -1 to be wounded. So kind of like a very easy build is going to be 10 or 20 warriors. I think 10 warriors is 240 points, 220 points. So for 440 points, you can have 40 wounds on a 3-up armor save that is -1 to be wounded and has a 5-up versus
mortal wounds.
Yeah. So, and if you want to add into this, there's also a sub-faction, which was a 4-up rally, but in this errata, they've changed that 4-up rally to a 5-up rally. So now those guys are only on a 5-up rally, where they used to be on a 4-up rally. So that's what the new errata
is still absurd.
It's still pretty
good.
The
fact that anything rallies on better than a 6 is absurd. Nothing should rally. Nothing with more than 1 wound should rally on a 5.
That anything can rally.
The fact that anything can rally. How do you feel about it, James?
Just get rid of it.
Just get rid of rally.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
See it off.
Yeah. See it off. I agree, 100%. So that's kind of like one of the big swinging bits. You can also take Chaos Knights, and because you can +1 attack, and there's two units in there, they can just go crazy. You can also have Chosen that just do that. They get to fight twice, like once per battle, so they can just give them the mark of Khorne, give them all the damage output in the world. They can just go crazy, which is fun. You can have the new Demon Prince is pretty cool. You can give him marks, and every mark you give him, they get special different monstrous actions. The Nurgle one's very cool because you can turn off ward saves for units within 3 inches. That's whole units just within 3 inches, which is pretty strong. That's really good. They've got What else they have? They've got like an endless spell that give +1 attacks out as well, which is really, really nice. You've got a sub-faction. Oh, they've got a Nurgle banner, which makes a unit also ignore the first pip of rend. So those 20 Nurgle warriors that were already on a 3-up armor save, that were -1 to wound, ignore the first pip of rend. So they're going to be a bit of a bitch to get rid of. They've got loads of abilities to make it so you can't either do Inspiring Presence or Rally, which is kind of fun because
That I like. Yeah.
because it's quite good. It's quite a good mirror into itself as its own book, which I think is just really, really crazy.
Is this another good guy with a gargant situation?
Yeah, literally. It's a, yeah,
Okay,
it's and actually I was kind of like quite excited by that because writing your own mirror into your own book is quite fun, which I think is quite interesting. What else did they get? Varangard are good. They've got Knights of the Empty Throne, which is fine. They've got Run and Charge, everything with a mount. They've got Demon Prince. Oh, they've got a couple of artifacts, which is super cool. One which makes it so that models with 1 or 2 wounds don't count for holding objectives.
Ooh.
Right?
Oof.
Oof. Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
What's that? An artifact?
An artifact, yeah. And then there's
Yeah.
another one where you cannot use Inspiring Presence or Rally within, I think, 12 inches, maybe, or something like that. Maybe 6 as an artifact. But the cool artifact, just to talk about, so that's that portion of the book, you know, like the heavily armored part of the book. It's going to be very survivable. It's very tanky. It's going to hold out. It's got options to have Rally. It's got option to have Battle Line Chosen. It's got incredible damage output, incredible survivability, which is super fun. The other part
don't mind.
Go on, Dan.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't mind Nurgle being survivable, but I think it's just the issue with Nurgle is that it always, every edition of it has been a negative play experience for your opponent. You know, you can't hurt me, I come back, you can't this, I ignore all of this damage. And like I get it that that's their thing, but surely there was probably a way to do that just didn't feel so boring to play against. You know, like I think that's when you say to me Khorne gets an extra attack on the charge, I'm like, hell yeah, that's exciting to play against. Like that's fun. That's engaging. But when you're like, you're -1 and I've got an extra wound and I've got a 3-up armor save that I can make a 2-up armor save and I ignore this and I do that and then I can rally on, like I'm like, there's no fun fight. Like that's not a game experience to play against that.
Okay,
unless it's like a unit cap of 5 or something.
Oh, so you want some fun? Well, then, my friend, you want a
fun.
command trait called the Idolater Lord, right? So this is a pretty cool command
Good
trait.
start.
Yeah.
Weren't idolaters the weird chariot-leaded?
They were.
Yeah.
Okay, they're
Okay.
back.
They're back. Well, specifically under a command trait. So it's just a command trait. So that command trait you can put into loads of. There's a really cool sub-faction where everyone becomes a wizard. So that's pretty fun. But this and then there's also James, you'll love this. There's the Ravagers, which I know you ran once. Yeah. Ravagers now they just bring back half of a unit as a heroic action. So like either cultists or.
Marauders.
Or Marauders, yeah. So, but Marauders are terrible now, so it's fine. So you want the Cultists. And Cultists are pretty spicy. So the Idolater Lord, if you take that as your general, that means that you get a unit of... that means that all of your Chaos Cultists or Marauders can get the same keyword as your general. Normally, they have the undivided keyword, but they get the same keyword as your general, if that makes sense. Right? Now, this is where the spice melange is, because then you can have like some real powerful units, specifically the Splintered Fang, which we thought was a misprint, but they've got 3 attacks each and they do mortal on 6s to hit. But don't forget, if you're the Mark of Khorne, yeah, then you can ally in a Bloodsecrator, so now you've got +2 attacks, right? If you wanted to, you could take the Endless Spell for +3 attacks. So you can have 6 attacks, yeah, from a unit of per Splintered Fang. So 60 attacks, each 6 to hit doing a mortal wound. Which is great.
And then they charge?
That's when they charge. Yeah.
Oh, when they charge. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when they charge. Which is pretty fun. So you can do a load of damage there. How much for 10 Splinter Fang?
Oh, they're going to be like 70 points or something like that, aren't they?
100.
No, come on. They listen. They've got
100
move
points.
6. Okay. Nathan, what do you think?
100? I'm going to go with 100 as well.
They wound on a 2.
100 points.
Yeah, so what are they? 1 wound each.
1 wound each.
6-up save.
They did have a 6-up save. Yeah, 6-up save. Move 6. Okay.
Yeah, loads of attacks though.
3 attacks
yeah,
each.
100 points. Yeah.
Wow, can't believe you guys. Oh, it's a 5-up save, but it's 100 points for that unit. So
Was it?
yeah.
Huh.
All those warbands have always been 100 points, so I just went to 100 points.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So anyway, yeah, the output on them is pretty spicy.
Yeah, that's still a lot though of stuff they do.
Yeah. But then there's some other cool stuff. You've got the unmade, which are the bladed ones. I don't know if you've seen it. They're from
They're the ones
Warcry.
that cut off their faces and wear them as a belt buckle, right?
Yeah,
they're on their
Great,
belts.
awesome design.
Yeah.
Great design.
So they turn off rally and redeploy, or is it inspiring presence and redeploy? Definitely redeploy plus something to units within 12 inches.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
That's cool. That's fun.
That's spicy, right? That's pretty great.
Mhm.
And I think
Like,
that
I like that though, because these units are easy to kill. You know, like they're usually not very durable. But the idea of like little cultist units running around with effects that and I mean to play against them. That's fun for me. Trying to kill the small units to turn off the effects. I like that. I like that as a design.
okay, yeah, that's pretty fun. They're the kind of standout ones. Untamed Beasts obviously still get the pre-game move, which is quite cool. And then you've also got Corvus Cabal, who can deep strike. They're the bird ones, so they can deep strike. And then if they get in terrain, you're not allowed to see them. Ooh, 'cause they're-
Oh,
Whoa!
speak of birds.
Yeah.
No, are they all 100 points?
Some of them are cheaper, but obviously the 100 points for the Archeon's got a glow up. He's on his war scroll now. If he's in Slaves to Darkness, he knows he once per battle can know what the next priority role is going to be in the hero phase. He's got a command ability that just lets a unit in the combat phase, if any models in that unit die, they get to fight on death, which would be super nice on a unit of 30 dudes who are going to delete your face, and then you're going to
6 attacks each and mortal wounds on 6s and wound on 2s.
and then you're also going to just recycle them back, which would be nice. And you've spent, but then you've got to have Archeon in your list to do that, right? So there's some real spice. The last bit of the quick rundown, if I can, is chariots are pretty hilarious. You can now do a Chaos Chariot, so a regular battle line Chaos Chariot. It basically has the Ogre Mortal Wound impact hits on a 5.
Nice.
So pretty cool. So whatever the charged roll is on your unit, on a 5-up, you take a mortal wound. And if you want, you could have units of Chaos Chariots. So you can have like a unit of 1 or a unit of 3, which is quite cool. And then a Gore Beast Chariot has at the end of combat. So the end of combat gets to pick a unit within range on a 2-up, do D6 mortal wounds, and you can also take multiple Gore Beast Chariots as well, which is pretty fun. Yeah.
So lots of mortal
I like
wounds
that,
on the
yeah.
chariots.
Yeah. How much do you think they are, roughly? Gore Beast Chariot, they're like 8 wounds on a 4-up save or something.
160.
120?
160, 120. James, any thoughts? You've been using the Stormcast Chariot, so it's basically the Stormcast Chariot, James.
Okay, then 165.
165. Okay, so the regular chariot that's whatever you roll to charge on 2d6, 5-ups is a mortal wound, is 100 points.
Oh.
And then the Gore Beast Chariot, which is if you charge in and then at the end of combat you can move over and do d6 mortal wounds, is 115 points.
Jesus.
The Gore
That's
Beast is a nicer model, though.
Way cooler. Yeah.
I actually hope we start. I hope we start to see some like Mad Max chariot armies. That'd be rad.
Yeah, well, in the chat right now, Pro to Tabletop, I'm painting 9 regular chariots right now because that's only 900 points.
Great. There you go.
Like, it's not
Can
even
you
that
make
much.
them
Wounds are
battle
they
line?
each? 6?
They are battle line.
Ugh, the worst.
I mean, you could give them the Marcus Sinest, James, and it's a command ability for run and charge. Or
Yeah, that's a cool army.
Mm.
I don't know why they do that in that and then not in the Stormcast book.
what?
Sad.
It's sad. I know. I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. I
Animal
know.
treatment, I guess the Stormcaster, like they treat their animals better. So they're
Yeah.
not as full of
They're not just
rage.
throwing them forward cavalierly, right? Anyway, so with all that said, I think the book has landed. Safe Starters book landed pretty excited. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is pretty exciting." But then there has been an errata. So some of those that have been changed. Specifically, the 5-up rally is the important one, and that's on. That's important. The other things that have changed is the ensorcel banner. So Nurgle could take a banner, and it made you -1 to your rend, and it was just models within range of the unit with a banner of 12 inches.
Oh,
If that makes sense.
Jesus! So you've got your big unit of 10 to 20 warriors spread out, creating then a 12-inch -1 to rend bubble just about across the entire board.
Yes, but they have FAQ'd it, so it's okay. So they FAQ'd it so that it's now down to just the unit that you're targeting, which is great. I guess it's like a free upgrade, so it's like a mount trait, but it does make that Nurgle warrior block. We all have to face the fact that there's going to be units, like a unit of 10 or 20 Chaos Warriors, which is with a marker Nurgle, which is going to be close to unkillable, I reckon. Like you can give it a good old college try, but I'm not really certain you're going to pick that off in any day soon, because it's a 3-up base save, ignoring rend 1, 40 wounds on a 3-up armor save. Yeah. Yeah, Greg in the chat's like, Greg's like, you're being a fucking coward, Rob. Not 20, 30.
You know that's what's going to happen, though. There'll be a line of 30, like a line of like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
You could potentially. I mean, it's kind of counteracted by its own. I don't know. We'll see. Well, it's quite interesting. Yeah, demonic speed is mounts only, correct. But chariots also have the mount, so I don't know if anyone cares about that. I don't think those are the big. Those are the big changes. Yeah. Those are the big changes, basically,
Slaves to Darkness. So they're a strong book then, eh?
Really strong, bro. Really strong. And going to be really meta-defining as an army, because we've kind of had... we've had armies that definitely can do survivability pretty well. I mean, it's a very elite army as well, right? When you're talking about that, if you're talking about 30 Nurgle Warriors, you're talking about 740 points in a unit. So it's pretty significant that, the Chaos Chosen are really, really punchy, but they're 240-ish points. We talked about some cheap units like the Splintered Fang and the other stuff, but it's got so many options. You definitely can run a variety of lists, so it's very strong. It's very strong, basically. So yeah,
and a popular one as well. So
popular one. I guess. How do you guys feel about a day one FAQ? Do you feel okay about it? That would have been the day if it wasn't for leaks. No one would have known that all of those rules were in play before the FAQ on the day. So I feel like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with a day one FAQ massively. I think obviously it represents two things, one which is awesome and one which isn't. The awesome thing, which I think we should celebrate, is the fact that it means they're aware of what's going on. They're aware of maintaining balance and not just releasing something busted into the tournament scene that then fucks everything up for a month before it gets reined in. So I love that. The other side is that the concept that it means that they're realizing this before release. It's it's not a video game where you're bug testing. Could you not have squashed some of these a bit earlier? So I find it cuts both ways, but I love the people that get pissed off about it. I love them, especially when they did it with Votan and people were like, but I ordered 3 of the boxes because they were supposed to be the best and broken and ruin the tournament scene. I just loved it. It got me so happy because I'm like, what, you deep dived in before anything had even happened? Shut up. It fills me with joy.
Shut up. Yeah. James, you got any thoughts on this? Because I know you like looking at other game systems. I think it's good, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think the only thing I think, it's nice that they're doing it. It's nice that they're paying attention, and it's nice that they're trying to keep books balanced. The only thing that every time I see these is if this was just a digital book and people were buying it, you just update it and then people update it and then it's done. I think there's also a flip where you've just sold someone an out of date 30 quid book.
Before they've received it.
And it's a weird one, right? Because it's a weird flex where you're I want my book to be balanced. Well, most people don't, which I've said before, but whatever. I want my book to be balanced, I want my book to be right, and I want it to work. and that can go up or down, like imbalance. But and I think like if you've got the Gloomspite Gits book and you're 3 years on or whatever, and it's changed 5 times, you're probably just using the War Scroll app and a piece of paper. But it's weird. It's weird to think that you've just spent 30 quid on a book, but actually spent like, what was it, like 130 quid on a box with the book in because there was no other way to buy it. But the book's
but
not
they have
actually right.
because of this situation, or maybe exclusively because they knew that they'd put the wrong print in this book. Now I actually know that there's like that they put the all the other languages, all of this FAQ was different. If that makes sense, like this FAQ, they haven't had to FAQ it in other languages. It was only in the English version, so it was a misprint. So like they had said that it's not match play legal, but maybe that's just now because they're like, I don't know. Like I personally think I agree with Velotron in the chat. They're managing the community a bit. They're being upfront. They're saying like, look, this needs changing, or we printed the wrong version in here. Let's just thank that at some point this was a 4-up rally in the army and it changed to a 5-up. Right? They had the temerity to see it and they were like, yep, this needs changing. So great for the hobby, I personally think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's weird that some of the books in different languages had different rules. So, yeah. So that obviously shows that there was a mistake somewhere. It's a genuine mistake. And it's nice that they've corrected it. But like James says, if it was just fucking a digital book.
We're all on the same page.
So much easier than now. You've got to go and write in your book that you've got out the box and draw a picture of the new rules.
It's true. That's true. Okay, all right. I also hate when they correct stuff in misprint. I think the problem is this is just reading the chat. Is a lot of people feel that it somehow makes the book that they buy invalid, and also they have like the rules is only a certain element of a book, right? I don't know. Like it's awkward. They don't change like 99.9% of a whole book. But yeah, it's.
You know what I rather than critique GW, what I might say is, having played Marvel Crisis Protocol, I'll applaud how they do it. Like when they make changes, they'll say, "Oh, these cards, like the Infinity Stones, they're like, these rules we're changing," and then they provide, like, because it's just cards, it doesn't matter. The rules are all available online. They're just like, here, print these out. There's your new cards. You just do whatever you want, like, and I really like that because it's just constant. If you go and check out their Twitter, they're constantly tweaking, updating, doing everything. And so it's when they realize that a character isn't what they should be, they change it. And that fast, rapid stuff is really exciting. It keeps the game fun. So I can't applaud this enough, because I think that them being more aware and like, if you were like a tournament gamer, or even if you're just casual, what do you find more frustrating when someone has a broken thing that it hasn't been clarified? No, like, you want it clarified. So this is awesome. I just wish the rules in general were easier to access, or digital.
Yeah, also, a couple of bits in here is this FAQ. A lot of people were thinking that those Splintered Fang that I previously mentioned, the misprint was that they had 3 attacks and that they wounded on 2s. Yeah? Neither of which ended up being true. So there was a bunch of absolute bright-eyed gamblers on the Saturday buying up every Splintered Fang model that existed on the Earth. All sorts.
And then when those ran out, they were like, just buy the human cultists and snakes. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So there were some crazy-eyed loons just picking them up all across the world. And that made me chuckle. There were people in New Zealand who's like, I've bought all of them that are on the island. Good luck me. And then as soon as the FAQ came out, they were like, whoo, we nailed it.
They were basically gambling on a dice roll that usually wouldn't come for 2 weeks until after release, but it came on the day, and so they're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, it was very funny, especially because they normally have production issues with units like this, so I think that there's almost none left in the world right now to purchase, which is making me chuckle.
After they sat around for so long not being bought.
Yeah.
Like after release.
Yeah. There's definitely still probably another FAQ. One of the other things as well is they did change the spell that you get. If you have a wizard that has the Mark of Tzeentch, they gain access to a spell, which is called Warp Reality. And in the version before this FAQ, you could move after you teleported, like Thankwall can in a boat, so the Bringy Dingy, but then they FAQ'd it so you cannot move after you teleport a unit. But it was never a teleport people away. Nath, you'll quite like this. The spell that you get is a teleport, so you basically, it's board wide, right?
Yeah.
It's a teleport where you teleport it back to the caster.
What? Oh, okay. So you teleport them away, straight back to him.
Yes, right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
back to, well, within 9 inches, right? Which I think is quite cool. But then you can't move after.
Do they have to be outside of range?
Yeah, they have to be. Yeah,
enemies?
they have to be outside of 9 inches.
Okay. Because I was going to say that'd be fun. Like your chicken runs up, gets surrounded by enemies, and then goes, "Ha! Here are all my friends!"
Yeah.
And then just like all these Zinch warriors appear around them would be very cool. But no, it's a coward's version. It's getting away.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And then move
Pathetic.
after was potentially for some hilarious memes, but unfortunately, R.I.P. the memes. So no memes for anyone that doesn't. Sorry, no memes for you. But speaking of memes,
Yeah. What's this then?
fucking ogres, mate. Yeah.
Ooh, thick kings, let's go.
Thick kings. Hold on. Let me just very quickly get some. Let me just get the info that we need up. So the Mawtribes. Okay, so we're gonna go through some of the Mawtribes info, yeah, and we're just gonna go through the highlights. Okay, real quickly.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna bang out the highlights super quick, and then you guys can just be like, okay, I'm into it. Let's go. All right, Bosh. First up, yeah, there's some sub factions. There's 6 of them, right? Ravenous Brutes is the what it was before, right? So Mawtribes, they get 3 inches if they're not in combat, and they get +2 bravery if they're in combat. It's the same. Okay.
Nice. That was good trades. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Nice
say
one.
it's the same. I'm gonna say it's the same a lot. Okay. Gulping Bites is new though. Gulping Bites is new.
Ooh.
At the end of combat, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches friendly Gutbuster Ogres on a 4+ D3 mortal wounds.
Great. That's great. I much prefer that. That's a lot more fun. Yep. Good.
Yeah. Right. So, and also this is interesting because they've changed how the trampling charge works a little bit. So previously, if you had a unit of gluttons, then when you charged in, whatever you rolled on your charging dice, 6s would be a mortal wound. But now, it's 5s because if you have a unit of 3 or more models, it's 5s.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty
No,
No,
nice.
that's
nice.
good because you used to get like +1 or +2 if you had 9 or 12 models or something like that, and it was really difficult to do, and it was kind of pointless. Like you didn't want to have 12 running around. So no, that's rad. That's an awesome change. Dig it. Yes, good. More thick kings. Let's go.
Well, they're also, don't forget, they're now charging and doing more mortal wounds, but also they're going to do mortal wounds around you, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, feed me thick kings. Let's
Okay.
go.
Now, also, when you take Ogre Gluttons, if you give them a meat fist weapon, it turns into 4s.
So they charge waving their fist at people.
Yeah. They just get in
Nice.
there and they
And then-
fist them.
Fist them on the run.
Yeah. For monsters, it's still a 4+. Okay, so do a charge,
Yeah.
mortal wounds 4+. Now they've changed the might makes right, so it used to be monsters counted as 10. Now each individual ogre counts as 2. So if you've got a unit of 6 ogres, they're going to count as 12 on an objective.
Right.
Yeah.
Should be more, but I'll take it.
Yes, yeah, it should be more. And then if you have a hero, it counts as 5.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay, yeah, that's
Nice.
good. Good. I'm glad we like that.
That basically means that the
Um,
heroes can stand on objectives and be like 1v1 me, bro, let's go, and then like actually just doesn't matter what happens, they hold it.
And the monsters are still 10.
The monsters are still 10, yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Good.
Then Grasp of the Everwinter is the same, yeah, which is at the start of your hero phase. Roll 1 dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of any friendly beast or raiders. If the roll is equal to or less than the current battle round, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Nice.
Ah.
So a little bit like who cares, but a little bit also whatever. But like you're basically doing more mortal wounds because of Gulping Bite. You're doing more mortal wounds because of the charges, and then and this is the same. So there's already a little bit more spice in your allegiance ability.
Mm-hmm.
But not
Cool.
loads. Like I'm quite disappointed in this. Not because I don't think it's powerful. I just think that they could have done a little bit more to
Change it.
Well, just to make it more interesting.
Mm.
Like they're ogres, they eat. Yeah, like why isn't there like some sort of like meat-based commodity? Why don't they have Aether Quartz, but it's meat? Like eat one meat, get powered up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if they've killed a unit in combat or something like that, they generate tokens that to
Yeah. Like you know how society is moving towards a meat-based barter system. Anyway, just take that. Take those. You know, the ogres.
It's been really hard at nightclubs recently because I just go with a bunch of steaks and some fish, and usually they won't trade me for drinks. But you know, there's a couple that will.
Yeah,
Get
right.
more
like,
and more, right?
Yeah, exactly. The ogres are Soylent Green, is what they should say. Okay, so that's their core allegiance battle traits. But then you've got 2 new heroic actions, okay, for your army. Sorry, monstrous rampages, not heroic actions. So sorry.
Okay.
Monstrous rampages. And I did already talk about these last week and the week before, ever since we heard the rumors, but they're definitely true now. Unstoppable
confirmed? Okay.
charge is a Stonehorn only. When it's charged, the unit makes a 3d6 move and can pass across enemy units as if it can fly. It must finish its move move within 3 inches of enemy units, so you can't like leave combat. And at the end of the move, roll a dice for each unit passed across on a 2 + D3 mortal wounds.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
Right.
Another little chip. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
So
feels like a Stonehorn as well. You know, like that feels like what a Stonehorn charging should be.
yeah, there's also a mount trait for -1 to wound on the Stonehorn. So you've got like so you're gonna charge in with your Stonehorn. You've got a mount trait for -1 to wound. You've still got your 3 up armor save, 4 up ward, a 5 up ward. Sorry. There's an artifact where you can take where you can be like 3 up ward once per phase if you wanted to. Can it be next to a different unit than the one that it charged? Yes. So you can charge in and just hit some other unit, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like super awesome in my personal opinion. So that's super powerful, and I think that's gonna define the book a lot. To be
For
honest,
sure. Yeah.
like that Stonehorn, which had like an eyeball on it anyway, is now mega. James, do you not like this idea? This is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I think I said last week, like I don't want to see Stonehorns anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And not because I even hate them, but I feel like there's nice models in that ogre book I'd like to have seen more of, and we've had a long time looking at
Yeah.
Stonehorns.
But they just look so good.
Well, James,
Looks good.
Gonna see
have you
more of
ever
them,
seen
huh?
an Iron Blaster?
Yes.
Well, expect to see 4 a lot. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so let's talk about the sub-factions really quickly. If you take Meat Fist, you can add one to the roll made for the trampling charge for Meat Fist Gutbusters. That's the thing I was talking about earlier, Meat Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's +1 for those mortal wound impact hits. Blood
Right,
Gullet
Nice.
is Blood Gullet Butchers know 1 extra spell from the Law of Gut Magic. In addition, friendly Blood Gullet Butchers can attempt to cast 1 extra spell on your hero phase, so that's good if you're magic.
They were always the
Underguts,
magic-y ones. Yep.
the fucking
Oh, gosh, here we go.
Undergargants,
Shooters.
improve the rend of missile weapons used by friendly Underguts Lead Belchers, Underguts Iron Blaster units by 1. Now, the Lead Belchers are super cheap, and you can have them as battle line in Underguts, so then you can kind of avoid having to take Gluttons if you don't want to take Gluttons. And then you basically got your Lead Belchers, and your Lead Belchers are stonks to the moon now. Not Lead Belchers, your Iron Guts. Let me just go find not Iron
Iron
Guts.
Blasters.
Iron Blasters, thanks,
Iron
Dave.
Blasters.
Let me go find them for you because the stonks are hilarious. Let's go
Feed
talk-
them. Feed
yeah.
me.
Let me go find them for you. 1 second. It's just a variety of screen caps on my screen.
yeah.
Iron Blaster. Here we go, baby.
Big cannon.
It's got a 30-inch range weapon.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Nice.
it
Good.
moves 7 inches. It's got 9 wounds and there's a 4-up save. And it's only 170 points.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
Hey.
baby.
and it's got a 30-inch shooting attack, which used to be 1 shot, but now it's
Yeah.
2 shots. Hitting on
Mhm.
4s, wounding on 2s, Rend 2, D3 + 3 damage.
Ooh. Nice
So to be
consistent damage.
Yeah.
Rend 3 and 4 to 6 damage.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah,
That's a D3 + 3 is. I like that they've started doing this rather than just things being D6, because getting hit by a cannonball shouldn't do 1 wound ever.
I mean, it's great, but I think there's a bit more spice to this. where
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you
dear.
take the Iron Blaster Cannon Hail Shot, which is a different shot that you can take, then you get 10 shots at 12 inches. Don't forget it moves 7 inches, so it's
Yeah.
going to be 19-inch range. That are 3s and 3s, rend 1, damage 2, but there'll be 3s and 3s, rend 2, damage 2.
It sounds like someone who
So-
was a fan of grape shot rules from Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, I'd
That's
imagine.
quite tasty, yeah.
Yes, if you had 4 of these, you're going to have 40 shots that are damage 2, rend 2.
And 3s and 3s is nice.
Great.
Right? Yeah. True. This unit will be hungry, so it's going to move an extra 3 inches. So it'll actually have a 22-inch range.
And you'll also, you're gonna have a butcher with the purple sun so that it makes it rend 3, right?
Yes.
So you rend 3, damage 2 with 40 shots. Ooh.
Yeah, you could do the purple sun, and in addition, if you wanted to, there's actually an artifact spell, one of the two, where you actually get +1 to wound. Do you get +1 to wound or +1 to hit? I think you get +1 to hit actually if you shoot into heroes or monsters. So if you wanted to do the long range shot, you could have 8 shots, hitting on 3s, wound on 3s, rend 3, damage D3 +3 into heroes or monsters.
Perfect.
Oof. That's good. Good night, sunshine. Yeah.
That's gonna give someone a black eye, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to know something hilarious?
Yeah, go for it.
As it's my new job role.
Let's go, Jamie. What did you find out?
In September,
Yeah.
the average sales price of an Iron Blaster was about 20 quid. Lot sold.
On eBay?
Yeah. Lot sold
Yeah.
for less, around the £13 to £15 mark. Some sold at £5.71.
Okay.
Oof. Somebody
Okay.
was ahead of the fucking curve. £5.
This week,
Yep.
single Iron Blasters have been selling for around £40.
That's great work, Jamie. I love that.
So,
Let's go.
so the,
Yep.
the person on the 10th of September, one person sold 2 Iron Blasters, half built, but still in pieces, so you could paint it. 2 of them for £10 with £3 shipping. So £13 for 2.
Wow.
This week, they'd have made £80.
Amazing. They're pretty much sold out everywhere on the planet right now. Yeah, there's that. So and also GHB coming up, things could change. And so that's the kind of like spice from the book. There's loads of other stuff. Man-eaters can be battle line if you take a command trait, which is kind of fun, but they're like okay. Iron Guts get to fight twice now. And they also got an additional pip of rend, which is really nice. They're only 4 wounds, so they're galley vets, but in the next GHB, that's probably not going to matter. So Iron Guts are like pretty strong, do some pretty horrific damage, which is kind of cool. Gluttons have obviously got those that update, like I told you about, with doing more impact hits, and they also gained rend. Lead Belchers changed a little bit, where you can only do max D3 shots now, but it used to be D3 or D6, but it goes up from going from D3 to 2D3 if you haven't moved, which is actually
Better.
Better, yeah, absolutely. And they would go up to Rend 2 in Underguts, which is pretty hot. They're also a very cheap...
Rend 3 with the purple sun.
Yeah, Rend 3 with the purple sun. And they're also a very cheap battle line unit, which is like if you take them in battle line. The Butcher's fine. The Bloodpelt Hunter is now a fox. Do you remember what the foxes did? Speckles will.
Oh, no, he doesn't have that stupid move thing, does he?
He does. Right, he's got unrelenting... Go on, Nathan, what's up?
What? He moves and the fucking every time anybody fucking turns around.
Clip that. Right, yeah. He's got Unrelenting Hunter. At the end, this is the new one, by the way, the brand new one. At the end of your opponent's movement phase, if this unit is more than 9 inches from all enemy units, it can make a normal move.
Bullshit.
It's a little bit tamer, but still, it's
Yeah. At least you can trap him and stuff like that, but still.
Yeah, yeah.
So he can finish his move within 9, though. Then.
Mm.
Yeah.
So he has to start outside of 9, and he can finish within 9. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Also,
guess it's quite good for denying some battle tactics, maybe. Who knows?
Oh yeah, there's also like
Mm.
as is pointed out in the chat, we've got 2-inch range also on the Ogre Glutton's weapons, which is currently not an issue because they are galley vets, but
Yeah.
in the new GHB that will be an issue and that will be more important. So they're kind of future proofed.
Mm.
There's a spell to make Iron Blasters do the monster ogre charge. So that they do it on the 4-ups. So if you do end up getting near those guns, they can clap back and give you a slap. You've got a mount trait to give a Thunder Tusk. Give a Thunder Tusk a 5-up ward, and they got themselves a monstrous action which is called Chill of the Everwinter that made if a Thunder Tusk made a charge move in the same turn, roll a dice for each enemy unit, right? Each enemy unit within 1 inch on a 3+, the strike class effect is going to apply to them. So you've got a Thunder Tusk that can give everyone fight last, which is pretty hot for this army.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's really good. So that's fun. They've got some good spells and prayers. The Blubbergut Stench one is the one that we just talked about with the Rhinoxes and stuff. So that's fun. Guess what? The Firebelly is still terrible, so unsurprising for all of us. Their command traits are pretty fun. There's some good ones, but we'll talk about that in detail another time. And then that's basically it. You got sub factions. Oh, Thunderbellies. Mournfang can run and charge. Bold ahead, you get +2 wounds to all your monsters, and you get to pick 3 command traits, and they're all pretty good. Winterbite, you get to have Frost Sabers as battle line if you want to, which is pretty cool. And you can't see them outside of 12 inches, so they're kind of like they're hidden in the frost and stuff.
Slow.
They're slow. And
in the snow.
yeah, in the snow. Yeah, they're hidden basically. Yeah. What are you saying, Dan?
So sneaky. Oh, I was gonna say I'm excited. I like it. I think it looks like there's a lot that's the same. There's a good bit that's different, which is exciting. And I spent a lot of time building and painting mine because I really, really enjoyed the models. So I'm excited to get them a bit more table time. I have one great glaring issue.
Yeah.
And that's they look. I love that they finally re-released the Man-Eaters in a 3-pack. They're still the same resin models, though, that will be a pain. But they haven't put in the lady, which is just the greatest crime.
Correct.
The 2 coolest Man-Eaters were by far the ninja and the lady / I mean, the thing that's fun, who knows what gender it is? Because all of the ogres have big old slabby chesticles, and some of them have beards, some of them don't. And so I love that he, she, they is rocking with like a dress, fishnet stockings, boots, and like a rolling pin to beat you around the head with, but then an optional beard. It's spectacular. It's one of my favorite models they've ever released. And obviously the ninja Man-Eater, not for the Man-Eater itself, but for the ninja Noblar, like doing like the cane kick.
Oh my god, the ninja Noblar is so great. Yeah, I miss it.
So the fact that they've re-released Man-Eaters as a 3-box, and okay, Golfag is a wicked model, so I dig that. I have him, I painted him. I had to buy 2 because I lost his gut plate. The Bragg, the Gutsman, is also cool, but the fact that the 3rd one is just the Paymaster, like arguably the wet fart of all the Man-Eater designs. Even the Pirate one's cooler. Just put anyone in there.
as well.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But.
Yeah, the
more for you, Dan, right?
Yeah.
Sorry?
More
for
you.
110.
James, are you feeling a 4 Iron Blaster list in your life?
Not a £40 a model, no.
Well, what if you'd have somehow had a prophecy a few months ago
to guide you,
and you'd have picked them up for a £5.
Own 2,
Did
and
you?
I don't know where they are.
Just sold them the other day for 10 quid.
I think I gave them someone, but there's a good chance they could also just be in a box somewhere in the loft.
I mean, there's stonks on them right now.
Yeah, but they're still going to stay in the loft because there's no way I'm going through all the boxes to get them. Okay. There's some horrific, like occasionally I open those boxes and I go, oh look, there's that Marco Polo model. still in a box, sealed. I'll just leave. I'll just put that back away, and then I leave.
I'm glad to have that.
What about you, Nathan? You interested in any of the ogre stuff that you've heard? The kind of spice on that?
Oh, they sound great. I probably won't be pursuing them as an army, but yeah, I'll be looking forward to getting addicted by a few of them on the table.
Perfect. What about you, Dan?
I love them. I think they're really, really cool. I've always liked them though. Big, burly, beefy models with a lot of character, and even when they weren't great, they have very interesting rules to play and to play against. So I'm keen. I'm keen to get him out.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad. There's also some meme lists available. Obviously, all that ogre charge keys in so nicely with Kragnos. Not that everyone wants to be a Krag bro. Like Infinite, because they get the 3d6 charge, which is obviously really, really useful for this army. Yeah, like, I mean, ultimately, I think the external balance, an army that's currently sat at like a 40 to 45% win rate, which is ogres right now, the external balance is that they're stronger than they were previously, which is great for them as an army. Like, we love to see that. But it still feels pretty lazy. Like, in my personal opinion, I feel like they really haven't done much to differentiate between Beastcore Raiders and Gluttons as a Gutbuster. Sorry, as a thing.
Fair. Yeah.
And I like same with Skaven. Like, we've had this year 2 of the most like outrageously cool armies. Like, narratively, ogres, I think ogres have got like a special place in loads of people's hearts, and also Skaven, and the books have been like, sure, maybe they've cleaned them up and they've improved some elements, and they've just an iteration of it. But it's a bit of a shame when you've got these you've got outstanding stuff with ogres that you could have done, in my personal opinion, and they've just ended up with, you do a gulp on a 4+, you do D3 mortal wounds. Just doesn't feel super powerful. No new models other than that one hunter dude as well. So,
and it's ugly.
Yeah, and it's ugly.
The snow fox man.
Yeah.
So they're just saving up all the cool rules. Well, obviously there were loads of cool rules in the Slaves to Darkness then. So is that where all the love went? And obviously when Gets comes out, because you've got all those trogs now, that's where those going. Was it a prophecy that made you print?
What, trogs?
16 trogs.
No, it was just a pure guess. I was just like, I was like, I'm never gonna do the Gits part, but I can cover the bases on trogs being good. Like,
is it because you're not worthy of playing the Gits part because Nathan plays it?
Correct. Yeah,
Just
that's what I was thinking.
It's just so many of the little bastards. Sorry, so many.
Sorry, money.
Yeah,
Got to go apologize to the wallet.
Yeah, like, this isn't the Slaves to Darkness. Sorry, this isn't the Ogre review, obviously. The Ogre review is something I'll do differently. I just thought this would be the catch-up with the boys on what's currently going on. So now you can just kind of be like, when you see a tweet or a little message about an Iron Blaster, you can be like, oh, I know what's going on now. Fucking
buy it. If you see it, get in, buy it, and then just resell it to someone.
Whoever got it.
No, resell it at a scalp it. You make more money.
Yeah, when you see one of your mates who's like, oh, I'm just gonna play some Slave Darkness. I've just got these 70 cultists. You're like, are they splitting the fang? They're like, they might be. Yeah, and then you know what's going on. So I just thought.
And you're like, I'd like to introduce your 70 splintered fang to my 4 Iron Blasters.
I reckon the Iron Blasters win that, to be honest. Damage 2.
They do.
Hail shot.
Damage 2, you don't get a save.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you need so that's just a TLDR. There's obviously some more stuff to kind of break out about it, and how the books actually land. It's quite interesting. The Slaves to Darkness one, I think, is gonna take a little bit longer for it to reach the tabletop, because unless someone happened to know that they would need 80 Splintered Fang available next week, then
Prophecy.
A prophecy. Yes, if they'd had a prophecy. Yeah. And also, if there's an event soon where someone's running 4 Iron Blasters in another prophecy, then I feel like, it's going to be a while until we see them reach the tabletop. But I think both of those 2 armies, especially Slaves to Darkness, might become one of the most popular armies in the game. I think Slave to Darkness could potentially override Stormcast as the most popular army in the game, my personal opinion. And I think Ogres will also do crazy well as well. So we'll see. We'll see how that works, because they've got more... Go on, Nath.
Sorry, do we know how popular ogres are at the moment?
Yeah, sure. Like, I can tell you right now. Not this very second. Give me a minute.
Like, in a few seconds.
Yeah, in a few seconds.
Like
In tournaments.
3 to 9
Really
seconds.
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, in a
fine.
reasonable amount of time. Well, I did just read this today, but I don't remember. I think they're at a 40% win rate, or they were, and their meta rep is quite low. They are ogres. They're at 2.4% of the meta. So they're the same amount as Gits, Beasts of Chaos, KO, Flesh Eater Courts, Ogres, Slaves to Darkness, and Khorne. So Slaves to Darkness and Ogor Mawtribes, interestingly, are both 2.4% of the meta. So it'll be really fun. And they are both at a similar win rate as well.
Be interesting to see in a month's time or so what the story is then, eh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one, right? Because it's November, so then you lead into December. So I really feel like we're only going to see the impact of these books in a big, broad scope towards January, February time.
In January, yeah.
What are you on
Even
about?
with
There's
the
like
snapshot.
19 events happening in December at your place.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you come to my gaff, yeah.
Put the link in the chat again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Tell
is a
them about Slapchop. Then
Yes.
they can get them ready in time as well.
Yeah, there's tickets if you'd like to go to the Everwinter GT Slapchop seminar. I will be running one, so please do let us get tickets if you need them.
Rob,
The
an
new
important
way
question.
Go on,
An
chat.
important question in the chat, which is also an important question for me. Is Bully of the First Degree still D3 mortal wounds and ignore Battle Shock? Because Grinaldi asked, is only Noblar list good? And I forgot to mention, the reason I got into Mawtribes was to run 80 Noblars, 2 units of 40, and then have my Tyrant go Bully of the First Degree, kill D3 of them, make them immune to Battle Shock. And admittedly, this is a few editions ago, but back when doing like 40 or 80 damage in a turn wasn't that common. And then just flooding them in front of my army and wrapping up my opponent and being like, there you go, have fun killing your way through all of them. And then after that, hitting them with the guys that were left, because they were only 100 points for 20.
So what you're asking is how cheap are Noblars? That's the first thing you're asking me. Yeah.
How cheap are Noblars? And then the second thing, does the Tyrant still have a command ability where they can do mortal wounds to a unit and it ignore Battle Shock for the rest of the game?
Okay. Well,
because if it can't do that, the Noblars are probably coming out of the list.
Okay, so 20 Noblars is 100 points.
Great, we're good. Can they still throw shit at you?
They can. They throw a lot of shit.
Best of times.
And they got traps as well, don't they now?
Yeah, they got traps. Correct, Nath. They got traps and rubbish. So, okay, and then let's follow it up. I don't think they can be battle line, so you can only reinforce them. You're going to have multiples. But there is a command trait called the Reluctant Rabble Rouser, right? And do not take Battle Shock tests, for friendly Noblar units wholly within 18 inches of the general.
What?
That's
Even better
okay.
than the Bully.
That's even better than the Bully.
Nah, because you can kill the character and remove that. Bully of the First Degree, it was rest of the game. So he grabbed
fair.
1 to 3 of them, beat them together, and then everybody else was for the rest of the game perfectly okay. So this is good, don't get me wrong, but you can turn it off by killing the character.
I don't think you can kill the character, right? Because if you take yourself a Tyrant, and then you have a unit of Iron Guts next to him, so you can just tank the whole. You can just be ablative wounds with the Iron Guts for the guy.
Oh, they're guards.
They're guardsmen. They got a 3-up. A 3-up bodyguard rule.
Great. Okay, that's all right then. Yeah.
Okay, so you can just have one. You can have one Tyrant, a unit of Iron Guts bodyguarding him, and a billion Noblars.
Being Noblarish.
Just being Noblarish.
I'm okay with that. That's fun.
That's fun, right?
Is that just an artifact? Is it then?
It's a command trait.
Or command trait?
Can you put it?
Nice.
That's only for more tribes though.
Gutbusters only.
Yeah. Okay.
Gutbusters only, and 4 Iron Blasters behind them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. Is just a flood of Noblars running, being like, la, 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 while cannonballs just get fired over their heads constantly. That's the happy place. That's the world I want to live in.
You can live that life, my friend. Yeah, we're there.
You
We're
can feel
there.
the prophecy striking home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't get the prophecy about the Iron Blasters, so you can't do that for
No,
till they come back in production.
That's
Just
gosh.
print them.
Yeah, you could just print some. There are.
I think I have 2 unbuilt. Should I build them or sell them? Because I don't know which is going to be better stonks right now.
There's 80 pure pounds there.
Yeah, there's. Yeah.
That's Jesus.
Oh,
What is that?
imagine how many dollar dues that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is in
A
eagle
lot.
money over
Hang
here
on.
either. Yeah.
Hang
No, wait.
on.
I'm in Canada, so it's moose money, not eagle money.
I reckon you're getting 200 Canadian for that. Easy, Dan.
It is 120 Canadian, but that doesn't allow for the fact that over in Canada they already cost more. So I reckon you're getting 200 at least.
Yeah, I'm getting, and also that right now, like you're in like a seller's market. I reckon you get 200
That's true.
Canadian for that.
That's true. That's
Tomorrow.
If
true.
anyone wants to offer Dan 200 Canadian in the chat,
Or an
let yourself
otter.
be known.
Like
Or
if
if-
you like,
Yeah,
I'll
you
take
can't have
just
one,
a
you've got to have two.
straight. Yeah, 2 otters, 2 fully just live otters. I'd like two live
Swap.
otters is what I'm gonna sell it
I
for.
don't think I.
2 live.
How cheap are otters?
Swap.
I don't know. I don't even know if you're allowed them, but they're cute. There's like videos of them.
And
2
what
otters.
sort of otter? Sea otter,
I don't
river
know.
otter,
River otter,
is
I
there-
think.
pond otter?
Yeah, is
Probably,
it?
it'd probably have to be like river or pond because the bathtub's like it's decent size. Like I fit in it, but it's not great.
You've been offered 1 moose and a
proceed.
stoat.
I don't know what a stoat is.
It's just like a.
You
it's
don't
like a
want
ferret.
stoat. You don't want a stoat.
Straight away.
Yeah.
What about a couple of beavers?
That's the face of a man who's previously owned a stoat.
Yeah,
I actually saw a
fair.
couple of beavers the other day, and as I watched
Yeah.
them tear through logs and trees with their teeth, I realized that they could probably do that to me if they decided that my legs were that. So I'm okay without beavers. I don't need vanilla either, so I don't need beavers.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Also, I don't think
Oh.
Dan was referencing otters as in the classification of
On Grinder.
on Grinder. Yes.
No,
No,
the-
I
the
wasn't. I'm
drop
very
down-
sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, got
Is
it.
it a drop-down
So
menu?
if-
Is it a drop-down menu on Grinder?
I am very sorry because obviously the chat did get a lot more animated. And for those that I've let down, I'm sorry. But it's good that we all know who we are, that understood that reference ahead of time, and the people that came in late. Apparently, I'm being told stoat's a great value, James.
There you go.
I wouldn't take the stoat.
What about wait?
Beaver, I'm in.
What's the
Stoat.
one where they get all the fur off? Like they use it for like coats
A
and
mink.
a mink.
It's a mink. You don't want one of them either.
Why?
I
Oh.
bet
They're
I
nasty,
think they
aren't they?
smell. Yeah, don't they smell funny?
I think they're scrappy.
What?
Yeah,
I
but
think they'll
what if
probably be on the show.
Yeah, it should probably be on
Yeah?
the show. That should probably be our animal. Our spirit animal is a
Change that
caged
badger
mink.
to a mink.
Yeah.
A mink.
Right. Okay. So.
Well, I mean, if I had a sable, then I could just be re-bristling my brushes as I go, right?
Yes. I think.
Just getting a Peter ban right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
People are
that's
after us right now. We're out.
Yeah.
Listen, chat. We're going.
What?
I hope that's been a nice catch up. Everything's been kicking off, which has been fun. Age of Sigmar's, in my personal opinion, in a fantastic little place. There's all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff cracking off right now. And I like what the new books are doing because we've had 2 new books drop this weekend, and we've got like a whole group of people reinvigorated about Saves of Darkness, a whole group of people reinvigorated about ogres, and it's just exciting to see people being excited about their hobby, in my personal opinion. So great fun for all of us, yeah. In my opinion, Nathan, you're going to be playing tournaments at the weekend. Any chance we get a single photo uploaded from you?
Yeah, I'll upload a single photo if you want.
Okay, no, okay,
Will it
more.
be of the table?
Like of the game. It's Nathan.
No, I don't
just
want to
like
see the
with
game. I
feathers.
just want
I'd
to
be
see
like,
that
"Alright,
corner of a
let's do it."
table.
I've got a special type of photo that Rob likes to see. That I send him.
It's almost who's the guy that made oh no, what's it called? Twin Peaks. Who's the guy that does Twin Peaks? That guy.
Rob.
Oh no, come on, we know that David
Jeff.
Lynch.
David
it's
Lynch.
it's almost David Lynch style photography where you're like, what is this a photo of? Like, what's in this shot?
And then the more you see, the more you're like, oh, like I admire the composition, but oh no.
yes, yes,
Like- Like
Okay.
truly the design and the angles are great, but the subject matter is not what I want to be viewing.
James, any Age of Sigmar this week? Any plans? Starting to think about your Christmas list, maybe?
Nah, it's too soon. There'll be another FAQ.
There
Keep
won't.
an
There's no
eye open for
FAQs.
prophecies.
I'm waiting for the Christmas one.
There's no Christmas FAQ. I promise.
There might be.
There
You never
isn't.
know.
It's not how it works now. There's a new
I mean,
GHB
Oh, when's that?
in the January, and the event is before the GHB.
Oh, maybe I'll read the GHB before I come.
You don't even need to read it. Just take some dudes. Pick an army. What do you need
Okay.
to know? What do you need to know? Ask me. Quick fire questions. Go. What do you want to know?
Prophecy.
How many
Prophecy.
Noblars is too many Noblars?
Not enough. 1,000. How many can you take? 20, 100? Just take
How many can you?
200.
How
Okay,
many
if
can you-
anyone wants to send me 200 Noblars, that's what I'll plan.
Well, no, you need a character, so
Yeah,
probably
you
like
need a
180 in
tyrant.
a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
180 in a
I don't
tyrant.
really want a character.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get that woman one. I reckon
Then-
I can find that not still available
No,
somewhere.
that's
I
worth
just-
its weight in gold.
I love that it's just that model has just such powerful energy about it. Just standing there over the shoulder, hand on the hips, just a pure like fuck around and find out energy.
I agree.
Oh,
I agree.
And I'm not like even Battle Line. This book's terrible. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, okay, 0 out of 10. Dan, you got any Sigmar plan this week?
Not straight up planned, but I probably got games coming in this weekend, so I imagine that there'll be some dice and war dollies around then. Maybe it'll be time to play with some new ogres because we got a 3-day weekend in Canada, baby.
Oh, nice. Hope you
Oh.
have a great time. Okay.
Mm.
When are you going to Canada to do your showing people how to colour?
Well, it's
Beautiful.
America, so close. Nailed it.
Yeah.
And
Same thing.
December, the first weekend of December
Oh, okay.
is when I'll be there. So first weekend of December. So if you'd like to learn how to like to learn how to slap chop, I will be running an entire seminar. It's 14 hours long.
Because that's how long it takes to learn the techniques. Yeah. There's
Are
actually,
you
if you
taking
wanna
your Kairos to show people?
All right, yeah, carry on. I mentioned that Kairos in a video, and all the YouTube
Good.
people were like, "Fuck your friend James, Rob. Yeah, why is he always bringing it up?" See, I mentioned it as a heart wrenching story. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. You're the villain in that tale. The villain.
Good. It's about
Yeah.
time I was a villain somewhere.
Is that why it's called Jamie now?
no, but if people wanted to learn a shorter method of painting, there's a non-metallic metal masterclass as well. They could go to that, but if they want to learn the way that you learn from the Turkish masters, it takes 14 hours.
It
You
does.
invented painting, didn't you? You
Oh,
invented
okay.
colouring in models. So
Right.
That's cool.
Okay, I'm playing Age of Sigmar tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I've got Objective Zone
Yeah.
on Sunday, so we're going to do some Age of Sigmar coverage. So looking forward to all of that. Thanks for tuning in. If you listen to the podcast, stay hydrated. If you are listening to this back on YouTube, please do like and subscribe. And that's it.